you're on blue. So provoking, I forgot to mention. Are you joking? I need some attention. And nothing's working to change your direction. You're on blue. Who knows you're on blue? When every bruise looks good on you. Tell me who knows you're on blue? When every bruise looks good on you. Why won't you hold my hand? Are you gonna deny this? Do the best you can. I haven't got a plan, but I'm gonna survive this. That's just who I am. When you're on blue, you keep everything inside of you. You try to play it cool. Sometimes you gotta break the rules. I don't know why you're confused. All you need is a little bit of attitude. Yeah. This is it. I'm tired of explaining. It's too late because everyone is waiting. That's great. So why are you complaining? You're on blue. If I'm unsure, will anybody notice? It's my fault because I love you on purpose. I'm insecure or just a little nervous. You're on blue. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Hey, hey. Starting to enjoy the view. I'm all about the attitude. Who knows you're on blue? When every bruise looks good on you. Tell me who knows you're on blue? When every bruise looks good on you.
Yo, 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 yo. Let's fucking go, baby. Friday night.
Paint away, day and night, 6 hot, so I'm okay.
Yo, let's go.
Someone new is pulling everywhere.
Let's go.
Nothing is what I say. I feel far away. Nothing is what I think. I will drown in panic. Yeah, 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 yeah. After you, I'm afraid of feeling some too soon. Cling to what you're giving. Nothing is what I say.
I feel far away.
Nothing is what I think. I will drown in pink.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh, oh, 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 oh. Ooh, oh, 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 oh. Let's go. Ooh, oh, 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 oh. Ooh, oh, 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 oh. Let's go. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Nothing is what I say. I feel far away. Nothing is what I think. I will drown in pain. Nothing is what I say. I feel far away. Nothing is what I think. Nothing is what I think.
Yeah. 'Cause I will drown in pain. Oh, 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 oh. Let's go. Let's go. Dude. Let's fucking go. Holy chaos. Holy chaos.
Who's your lover now? Red.
Who's it all about? Dude. What a day, bro. Yeah, man. No, it's getting crazy because it's pretty obvious that Trump is trying to manipulate this shit. Like everybody's rallying around Ghislaine Maxwell. We're going to start off by watching the CNN interview with Maria Farmer because, man, I hope the victims really start speaking up here because this is like the Trump team is trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really hope the victims speak up here because the Trump team is trying to fucking like Trump wash this thing in really bad, right? You know what I'm saying? Like really, really bad because obviously some huge shit like Trump found out about in May, which is why they dropped the investigation. They just sort of ended everything and started covering this up. And now he's like wanting to talk about Bill Clinton and shit. But obviously, if he just saw Bill Clinton's name all over this thing, he would have had no problem releasing that. Okay? There is definitely some shit with Trump involved, but you can see that he's breaking out Ghislaine Maxwell as if she's a serious voice we need to listen to. Benny Johnson is like a point man in this. He's like got representatives on his show saying Ghislaine really needs to be heard. Well, but does she? Dude, she's a liar. She's a perjurer. She sexually abused some of the girls. She lied during her trial. She is like a scoundrel. Okay, we don't need to hear from her. And in fact, everything that comes out of her mouth is probably completely unreliable. We have all those troves of, you know, Epstein files with all these victims that can be investigated. All those leads can be followed up. We can hear from the victims. We can hear from the files themselves. But to go back and have a convicted felon who's like fighting for her life to get out of prison and think somehow she's going to tell us the truth? Man, dude, yeah, exactly what Darian said. She literally lied to get these girls involved in this sex trafficking ring in the first place. She is probably the most unreliable voice in the entire scandal, okay? Like even less reliable than fucking Trump's. You know what I'm saying? And so, man, dude, Will, let's go, baby. Dropping the Big 10. Let's go. Let's go, boss. Let's go. Oh, dude, I got to change the sound. But for right now, you're making it rain. Let's go, baby. Appreciate that. Oh, shit. Yeah, dude, this shit is just outrageous. Okay, so I do want to start by watching the CNN interview with Maria Farmer. Okay, she is, let me see where I found it. Was it on there? Hmm. Hmm. Dude, appreciate that. All right, let me get my fan going. I don't know where this article is. Maybe I didn't see it in the Discord. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. It's not in the Discord. That's what it is. It is, I think I have it on my own here. Oh, yes. I know where it is. Let's go. I think it's in my bookmarks. There we go. Okay, so let's find, I'm going to actually go and find, it was on MSNBC. Okay, so let me find the full article on Jen Psaki's show. All right, here we go. MSNBC. Okay, this is from yesterday. All right. Elaine's father was Mossad. Yeah. Is her dad's dead? I didn't know he was dead. All right. I did not know he was dead. Her father? Dude, these guys are fucking crazy, bro. He fell off his yacht. Is that the story? Yeah. Isn't it funny how, like, once you get involved in this type of business, people like fall off their yachts. They fall out of buildings, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just funny how that works, isn't it? Isn't it? All right, we got the fan on. We're ready to roll. All right, let's get into this. Hold on. I am going to start a goal. We're going to start a dance goal since we have, since Will started us off. Well, dance party goal. There it is. Let's go. 1 hour. Super normal. Not at all suspicious. I know everybody starts falling out of buildings and shit. But again, dude, the Ghislaine Maxwell, she is the least trustworthy voice in this entire adventure. Okay? There's literally nobody, there is nobody less reliable than somebody in prison for 20 years. Let's go, pitchforks. Let's go, baby. Kicking that off right. There's just nobody. All right, here we go.
Victims, the survivors are people like Jane. Now, we don't know victims, the survivors are people like Jane. Now, we don't know Jane's full name, but we know that Jane was 14 years old when she met Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell at a youth camp in Michigan. Here's what the story said, quote, Epstein first abused Jane when she was 14. Jane said that there were sexual encounters with Epstein for the next 3 years, around every 2 weeks.
Brutal.
Sometimes Maxwell was in the room during this sexual abuse. There were occasions when Maxwell touched Jane's breasts. Jane is a real survivor. So is Carolyn, who testified that she went to Epstein's home over 100 times from age 14 to 18.
See, again, these are people that are in the files, people that have come forward with these actual stories, and they're talking to one of the abusers. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? It's insane. Jesus.
Where she was told to massage Jeffrey Epstein. Carolyn said that at the age of 14, before one of the massages, Maxwell came in and felt my boobs and my hips and my buttocks and said that I had a great body for Mr. Epstein and his friends. And then there's Maria Farmer. Unlike some of Epstein's other victims, Maria Farmer was 25 years old when she says Epstein assaulted her, though her younger sister, who also says she was abused by Epstein, was a minor. Maria Farmer was an employee of Jeffrey Epstein's at the time. She said that in 1996, she was at the estate of Victoria's Secret CEO Leslie Wexner with Epstein and Maxwell. She says that Epstein and Maxwell violently groped her until she fled the room and barricaded herself in another part of the building. And during her time in Epstein's orbit, Maria Farmer says she also encountered Donald Trump. She told the New York Times that in 1995, quote, late one night, Mr. Epstein unexpectedly called her to his offices in a luxury building in Manhattan. She arrived in running shorts. Mr. Trump then arrived wearing a business suit and started to hover over her. Ms. Farmer said she recalled feeling scared as Mr. Trump stared at her bare legs. Then Mr. Epstein entered the room, and she recalled him saying to Mr. Trump, no, she's not here for you. The two men left the room, and Ms. Farmer said she could hear Mr. Trump commenting that he thought Ms. Farmer was 16 years old. Joining me now is Maria Farmer, along with her attorney, Jennifer Freeman. And before we get started, I just want to say to you, Maria, I think it is incredibly courageous that you are continuing to tell your story in a very, very public way. It cannot be easy, and I'm very grateful for you being here with us tonight. So let me start just there, Maria.
Thank you, Jen, for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Let me start by asking you, I mean, this nightmare has followed you for a very, very long time. I mean, decades. And I'm sure that Jeffrey Epstein's reemergence, I mean, all over the news has been incredibly painful. How are you? How are you doing? Yes. How are you digesting all of this?
Dude, she looks scared, right? Doesn't she look nervous? I mean, I'm sure it's got to be nerve-wracking for her that, like, potentially her life is on the line by continuing to talk openly about this. You know, it's like super freaky, man. Just unfucking real, bro.
Thank you for asking that. That's very thoughtful, because a lot of people aren't aware of every time his picture is on one of their podcasts or, you know, and I've asked several people, can you please not just flash his picture everywhere or Maxwell's and not glamorize them? But thank you for asking that, because a lot of people aren't aware that re-traumatizes victims every time we have to see his face. And it's a case that has just never gone away. It just won't go away. And I need your audience to understand that, you know, I reported this almost 3 decades ago. So a lot of people will say, oh, why is she just coming forward now? And they think it's political. And it's not. It's something I've been working on pretty much. I dedicated all of my youth to this. And so I'm doing it not just for me, but for the victims who are now deceased and the victims that are very much alive. And I want to get justice for all of them. I feel that for my little sister to have gone through what she went through and to have had to testify against Maxwell and then have to suffer, and there are others that I love very much who are suffering this right now about Maxwell, it's completely unacceptable. Why would Maxwell be given a voice when she is a convicted pedophile? It's been very difficult, and I appreciate the question. I appreciate you asking.
Yeah, see, that's a big one for the victims, right? Think about all the victims, guys, right? The Jane Doe, right? The girls that, you know, the young girls that Jen Psaki was talking about in the beginning. Think about how the victims have been silenced, like rebuffed, death threats. They've watched Epstein get immunity by a guy that Trump later gave a cabinet position. Now, Todd Blanche, Trump's personal attorney, is talking about giving Ghislaine Maxwell immunity, right? And they want Ghislaine to have a voice, the convicted procurer of these young ladies who also sexually abused these young girls. And the victims are like, you know, killing themselves or being completely pushed to the fringes. You know what I mean? It's like, why does the convicted sex trafficker get the voice and all the people that were harmed by her just zipped? You know, I mean, it's ridiculous.
Of course. And I think we're all grateful for you having the courage to be here and tell your story and be out there. And let me ask you, because this is one of the reasons I think it's so important to hear from people like you who are so courageous. I mean, you and your sister, as you just referenced, Annie, were the first survivors to come forward and try to tell the authorities about what Epstein and his associates were doing. You first went to the NYPD in 1996, then the FBI. You said you felt like you weren't taken seriously. Right. You've repeated that.
I was dismissed.
You were and you were now suing the federal government, accusing it of negligence and failing to protect victims of sexual assault. And I just wanted our viewers to be aware of all of that and all the time you've spent on this and trying to get this story told. Tell us more about the story you told to the police.
Well, when I called, I told them I was reporting kind of an international pedophile, and I called it child pornography ring because they didn't call it CSAM yet. But that part is one of the most important parts to me, because some photographs that were personal photographs of mine that I used for working from, not to copy exactly, but they were anatomy studies for my art. And I was doing these series of paintings for the movie As Good as It Gets. This wasn't for me, it wasn't for Epstein, it was actually for a major producer. And because of being, held captive, I didn't get to finish that. But basically, those photographs are a permanent thing that Ghislaine Maxwell stole from the basement at Leslie Wexner's guest house. And those photographs are a permanent way that my sisters are being abused and that I'm being abused. And so when I told the federal government, I said, this really frightens me because I believe if they did this to us, they're doing it to everyone. And I see a lot of children coming in, allegedly for Victoria's Secret modeling or for modeling for Katie Ford. They had all these model scouts around them, Trump, all these people, and they were allegedly auditioning models. But for Victoria's Secret, the girls didn't have any breasts. I didn't understand. And so basically, it's been very an arduous journey over 29 years of just trying to get people to hear me. So I'm so grateful that you're bringing attention to this evening.
Nope. And we want you to be able to tell all the aspects of your story that it's so important for people to understand. And it wasn't you didn't only go to the FBI and the police back in the 90s. You also had an interview with agents in 2006. And one of our legal correspondents, 𝗙់_cie Rubin, was able to obtain the FBI's notes from that interview. I'm just showing some of them right there on the screen. There are a ton of redactions in these notes, as you can see. And I know this was some time ago, but do you remember what you spoke to them about during this interview and what details you shared with them during this interview?
Yeah, so basically I want to make it really clear because people don't understand this. My little sister was only 16 and she didn't go to the FBI in '96. I did that. And I protected my family because I didn't want anyone to know how dangerous this was. And so basically after 1996, they literally just hung up and I heard nothing for 10 years. And then I got a knock on the door. I was in the woods of North Carolina and there were these two agents standing there.
Dude, no way. They showed up 10 years later. Isn't that fucking crazy? Right? Is that what happened? She went in, the woman on the right is her lawyer. So she went in 96, she called NYPD, she called the FBI, nothing, mom. And then years later, when the shit came out, they come to her. Now, guys, you ready for this? I've been going through this timeline and here's a hot take for you right here. I think Trump may have actually leaked Jeffrey Epstein, okay? Literally in looking at this timeline and how close they were, and then the way that Jeffrey Epstein got leaked in Palm Beach, I think what happened is Donald Trump, I think, leaked it to get him arrested, to sort of make Jeffrey Epstein aware that he needs to be quiet and say nothing about Trump or Trump could fucking end him. I literally think that Trump was the guy who ratted him out as a way of putting him into the system with these people that could cover for his own, right? To cover his own ass, to make sure that it just never comes out about him. I shit you not. You know what I'm saying? I fucking shit you not. I think he leaked it. I think he was the guy who originally leaked that information. And yes, it was an insurance policy. It was the best way of making sure that, oh shit, this shit is getting out there now. And the only way I can really take care of it is to make sure that I'm in the upper hand here.
And Agent 𝗙ecie𝗶𝗏𝗀 said, we're here about your 1996 FBI report. And I was kind of shocked, and it's because I have so much trauma. I was kind of making jokes and trying to give them orange juice and cookies and, you know, just make light of it. And it's so traumatic. Like, my sister was selling like products to them. You know, we didn't know what to do with the FBI. We told them the entire story of what occurred with Ghislaine Maxwell being a sexual predator and predating children. She used to say, I need to go get the nubiles at 3 o'clock because the children were getting out of school. And of course, I would ask to quit. And I said, what is this? And she said, no. They're just models for Victoria's Secret, Maria. Just calm down, you know? So basically, there was a lot of gaslighting that occurred. But in 2006, they hunted me down. And they asked me to testify in the federal trial in Florida. And then they gave the sweetheart deal. And so I never testified. And then when it came time to testify in this trial, I actually was in ICU and chemotherapy. And a lot of people say she didn't even get to testify. And I'm like, because I was incapacitated. But my sister did testify, and my mother.
Yeah, her sister Annie did testify, and it was pretty damning.
And our stories have never changed. They're very credible.
I did not realize
I just want
that.
my files.
Of course you do. And I didn't realize about your health journey, too. You've been through a tremendous amount. You've also talked about a night in 1995 when you were at Jeffrey Epstein's office and Donald Trump came by and made a lewd comment, and then you overheard Epstein say to him, she's not for you. And we just told this story because you've told it publicly before.
Right.
And in response to that, and I want to ask you about that, but I just wanted to note that in response to that, a White House spokesperson responded saying, this is recycled old fake news of the highest order that was already peddled more than 6 years, concocted by Democrats and the liberal media, just like they did with the Russiagate scandal, which was just proven today. The president was never in his office. The fact is that the president kicked him out of his club for being a creep. There is a lot packed in there, similar themes we've seen in other statements, I will say, but it's about you. What is your response to that?
Right. So, first of all, that's so insulting and disingenuous because I reported this in 1996. And I have to say, like, Donald Trump was a Democrat when I reported him. So him saying that this was a Republican thing, this is not a partisan thing. This is pedophilia. Anyone can be a pedophile. It's literally, unfortunately, it just happens to be a lot of Republicans. And that's a fact. And those same Republicans want to entertain Ghislaine Maxwell, like Tim Burchett.
Yeah, I know. Tim Burchett's going off the hook, too, talking about...
to entertain her and flash her around and act like we victims should not be heard from. He didn't want to speak to me. He wanted to speak to Ghislaine and give her a voice and an audience. And my little sister is one of her victims, and so am I. So this is so damaging. And yes, I'm fighting 2 cancers, so I would like to be able to retire and have my FBI reports so that I can help bring accountability to everyone. It's not just me. I have the weight of all the young women on my shoulders right now.
You certainly do. And I am, again, grateful for you being here. We have to sneak in a very quick break.
Jen.
I have more questions for you.
Okay.
I hope you don't mind sticking around.
Okay.
Both you and Jennifer,
Not
thank
at
you so
all.
much.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
So this, though, to the woman who keeps saying this is not another victim. This is her lawyer, okay? This woman right here is Maria Farmer's lawyer, Jennifer, okay? It's, right? It's her attorney, it's her attorney, fucking Jennifer Freeman, right? It's right there. They're here. Here's a thing with the whole show where it says it's her attorney, Jennifer Freeman. Okay. Yeah. This is not a victim. This is Maria's lawyer. She's been on several shows with her. All right. Just to clarify that somebody was in chat, kept saying that that's a victim. It's not, it's her lawyer. Right. Dude, it's so crazy. Right. It's so fucked up. Now, let's watch the 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗏 comment, okay? Because I feel like this is important, okay? Because 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗏, these guys are now trying to rely on the Ghislaine Maxwell, okay? Right here, okay? Look at this. So he says, look at what he says here. 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗏 says, the House Republicans may agree to ask DOJ to reduce the sentence of sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell in exchange for her testimony if they like what she has to say. Dude, they're literally setting it up like, hey, if you get Trump off, if you say the right stuff, we're going to get you out of jail. Like, bro, what the fuck are we doing, man? Like, we need to end these motherfuckers' careers, dude. This is so out of whack. It's so disrespectful. There's so many victims involved in this shit. You know what I'm saying? And they are literally like right out in the open now. Just corruption. Unfucking real, man. This is crazy. Let's watch him.
They don't trust her. She's a liar.
No, she is a liar, and she's a dirtbag. And,
So then why
but-
subpoena her if you can't trust her?
Well, because the one thing we got holding over her head is if we find out she lies, she goes back to her original sentence, and that's looking at lifetime. And if she's looking at maybe parlaying this into reducing her sentence, then we could have some leverage there.
Government is saying it's
Dude, what the fuck? So he's like the one, if we catch her lying, she goes right back to jail. But like, bro, the fuck is he talking about? You know what I mean? If you're going to be able to catch her lying, how would you catch her lying? You mean by like the facts in the files or something? How are you going to catch her lying if she's the only person you listen to? Dude, what a scoundrel. You know what I'm saying? What a scoundrel that guy is. Dude, it's just, it is, the corruption is unreal, dude. It is unfucking rivaled, man. It is unrivaled. All right, let's see what else we got. I think we may have another, do we have another video? I think there's more to this interview here. Let me see if I can find more to this interview. Yeah, no, Sulfur, you're right. She has zero credibility. She's been charged with perjury. I mean, guys, she was literally the point person for, right? She was the point person for these young girls, man. She was the point person for like literally hooking up these young women. Unfucking believable, man. All right. So, oh, here we go. Here we go. This is another part.
You've heard Jeffrey.
Okay. So here we go. Here's another piece of the pie here. So Maria Farmer wants to testify. See, now we're getting somewhere. Okay. Oh, yes. While we have this, let's look at 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗏. All right. Here he is. Watch him sexually assaulting this man on the floor of Congress. All right. Yeah. There he is. Oh, 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. Yeah, the guy who's afraid of drag queens, but he sure likes sticking his fingers up the crack of that male ass on the congressional floor. Right? Right? So, Dragon, you say, but you know she has no incentive to protect Trump. What do you mean, Dragon? Like Donald Trump's DOJ is like, the DOJ is Trump's personal lawyer and his good friend from Florida. How could she screw him? If she screws him, she would go to prison for life or probably end up dead like Epstein. Like, are you kidding me? By her not screwing him, she's going to get out of prison. She has 100% incentive to not screw him, right? Like, oh, this guy can get you out of prison tomorrow. All you have to do is say, hey, it was Bill Clinton. It was everybody but Trump. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. What are we talking about? Dude, again, she shouldn't be talking at all. She's a perjurer. She's a liar. She's a convicted felon. Okay? You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on.
She's not for you. What was your reaction to that? What was going on in your head at the time about that? What did you think that meant?
Right. Well, I already felt kind of intimidated because it was in a dark office and I was alone with my new boss, you know, to be, and this man that's a powerful businessman. And so I felt intimidated, but that's not why I reported him. I reported him because when Epstein came out of the office, I was making a face at him because I felt threatened. And so I went, and he kind of laughed and backed off. And as that was happening, Epstein walked out and said, oh, no, 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 she's not here for you. And he emphasized, she's not here for you. And he said, come with me. And he escorted him into another office. And I was like, who's in there? And when he said, oh, I thought she was 16, I thought, is there a 16-year-old in there? Right? So what people need to understand is I'm not some crazy person who just reports people if they look at my legs or I'm in an office with them. But when someone is hanging out with a convicted or a pedophile, and I discover that that pedophile has stolen my little sister, and then there's a powerful businessman that's making comments about me being my sister's age, then I think that the FBI needs to take a good look at it. And so that's why I asked that they do that. And as far as like the Republicans have really been kind of tormenting the victims. And so that's a separate topic. But
I want to ask you about that too. You know, and the part that just kept sticking with me is she's not for you. I just don't know what that meant. None of us know what that meant, but it is hard to get it out of your head.
Yeah, I mean, the implication is that there is a girl for him in that other room, man.
Let me ask you, I mean, Ghislaine Maxwell, and I want to ask you too about this, Jennifer, and thank you so much for being here with us. Todd Blanche, who is now the Deputy Attorney General, is meeting with Maxwell in jail today. And as you've referenced a couple of times here, so I just want to ask you more about it. She's been a little, and I started talking about this, lionized almost, like lifted up by some who are suggesting she could be a victim too, what is your reaction to that? What has been your reaction to that? Maria, let me ask you that, and then I wanted to ask you, Jennifer, just what your thoughts are on that meeting.
Right. So I've never met a more predatory, terrifying human being in my entire life. And neither had Virginia Giuffre, and neither has Annie or Anushka or many girls like Shantae Davies. There's hundreds of us that were preyed upon by Ghislaine Maxwell. She's a very dangerous person, and she threatened my life on many occasions. I've had to move and be in hiding because of this predatory child predator and just victim predator. So it's completely unacceptable for anyone to call her a victim. The woman is not a victim. She's a victimizer.
Let me ask you, that is an accurate and good way of putting it. Let me ask you, Jennifer, I mean, you've obviously been standing side by side here with Maria, but you are also a lawyer. And I want to know your thoughts about seeing Trump's former personal lawyer, who's now the Deputy Attorney General, go spend the day privately with Ghislaine Maxwell. He's going back tomorrow. What do you think about that?
This is deeply, deeply disturbing. Ghislaine Maxwell is not a reliable witness. To think that someone who is facing what she's facing the rest of her 20-year sentence and now might have an opportunity to change that dramatically by saying whatever she wants to say or needs to say.
Or whatever Trumpy and his personal attorney, Todd Blanche, want her to say.
To those in charge and in charge of her fate, it makes no sense, and she's not reliable. I find it also very disturbing to equate her with the victim. She is. We've been dealing with the Epstein victims for many years, Maria and many others, and they're the people that should be focused on here. And there's absolutely no attention to the victims. For example, there was the issuance of this memorandum 2 weeks ago. That was issued without talking to a single victim.
Are you referring to the request for the grand jury files? That or a different request?
No, sorry. I'll make that. Yeah, no, the FBI and DOJ memorandum that says we will not release any files. There's nothing to see here. We're not going to charge anyone.
Yeah, see, that's another one. Dude, pitchfork, let's go with the 10. Let's go, baby. We are ready to fight. But yeah, what her attorney is talking about is how the victims, right? Think about what the victims have been through. Way back when he gets arrested, they have him dead to rights in the early 2000s, and 𝗙𝗪𝗪 goes behind the victims' backs, gives Epstein immunity, right? They're like, what the fuck? They get screwed. Epstein goes off into the shadows to continue his life. 𝗙𝗪𝗪, who gives him immunity, gets a cabinet position later in Trump's fucking, presidency. Thank you, Engrain. Then when Epstein finally does get busted, right, he ends up dead. The whole thing is a wash. Ghislaine ends up, taking the rap. They put her in prison. Nothing for the victims. No list. Nobody else gets arrested. So then 2 weeks ago, the DOJ, after promising the whole campaign, we're going to release it. We got the list. Pam Bondi says the list is on her desk. Again, she's like, oops, nothing to see here. There is no list. We're not going to arrest anyone. There's no one else to implicate in these crimes. All the victims are like, what the fuck, bro? What about us? What about all these people that we have? I mean, how many people did the victims out over the course of this investigation? I mean, they know who victimized them. It's like, come on, man. And they just keep doing it again and again and again. And now we have a bunch of Christian Republicans, Christians, that are all are fucking, now they're backing this shit up. And they're saying, oh yeah, let's let the predator, come before Congress. And where they'd be all like, oh, thank you, Ghislaine. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, right, Trump wasn't involved. No, Trump wasn't involved. Good job, Ghislaine. We're going to get you out of prison real quick.
This is over. And they made this conclusion, reached this conclusion without even talking to a single victim.
Which is completely outrageous. Let me ask you on that front. I mean, because there's also been this call to release the files from the grand jury, which are very narrow, and you can describe it further. But one of the steps they're supposed to take is reach out as a part of the victim notices process. Have they done that at all? Have you heard from them, Jennifer?
Not a peep, nothing. So they have not done their job in really, truly trying to get those records. But this is really, those records are, even if they got them, are a spit in the ocean. They have 300 gigabytes of data and physical evidence sitting in their offices. The grand jury materials could be somewhat interesting, but that's not the guts of it.
No, certainly not. Let me ask you, Maria, there's been some I don't know if it's progress, some push to subpoena the Epstein files, to learn more, that's moved through the House Oversight Committee yesterday. Do you see that as progress? Right. And if Congress asked you to testify publicly or behind closed doors, is that something you'd be willing to do?
I've been waiting to testify. David Boies had promised I would be able to testify, and it didn't happen. And now it looks like they're wanting Ghislaine to testify. It's my turn. Yes. Yeah,
dude, they should get Maria in there and her sister and any of the victims who want to testify. Let's get Jane Doe. Let's get some of these other victims. I mean, if they're open to it, or even give them some type of protected thing where they can testify, with behind a screen with a voice changer or some shit. I mean, let them go on the record. You know what I'm saying? Let them go on the record.
So you would be willing? Well, that's a significant thing. And
yes, absolutely. I'm waiting.
I hope somebody out there is watching and ask you. Let me ask you both. Jennifer, let me start with you. If you're able to gain access to the Epstein files, you may, I guess, if Congress has them and if they've contacted you. First of all, let me ask, has Congress contacted you about sharing anything from what they've subpoenaed?
No, they have not.
Okay, I hope they do. Let me ask you then, if you were to gain access. I hope so too. Somebody watching better be contacting you. Let me ask you, if you were to gain access, and I certainly hope you do, if they follow through with this, and I think they will, what are you going to look for first?
Well, first we're going to look for Maria's records, which we've been asking for years.
Yes.
And in response, we got, for example, a recent memo that's from the government that says, we'll be back to you by November 2027.
Dude, that's crazy. Like, she can't even get access to her own records, right? 2027, dude. They're like, we just wait until after the election. They're like, oh, yes, after the midterms. We're sorry. This phone has been disconnected until after the midterms have happened. These fucking scumbags, bro. Like, man, it's like, I am just so ready. We have to go nuclear on these Republican MFers. Dude, 27 minutes left. All right, we're getting a dance party. Let's go, baby. Thank you to all the donators. We're going to get this. Dude, unfucking believable, man.
That is completely unacceptable. Jen, the reality of this is that this is one of the largest law enforcement failures in U.S. history. Maria went to the FBI, gave them all the information they needed, talked about child sex abuse, trafficking, child porn, gave them the information. If they had done their job, nearly 25 years of sex abuse and other crimes
would have been prevented.
Avoided. And this is truly tragic.
29.
Yeah, again, it's just, this is why, guys, when we talk about defunding the police, it's like, come on, man. The cops, they're not good, okay? They're not effective. That doesn't mean we get rid of all police and there's no punishment for crime. No, it's just the way policing is now, it's not effective. It's like a jerk-it boys club that they don't follow up on leads. They don't take the job seriously. They don't really solve a lot of crimes. They show up after a crime has been committed and they push around the fucking survivors. You know what I'm saying? And then they collect overtime and they wear fancy brand new riot gear and tanks to go beat some protesters' asses. And that's it. And they're just so useless, man. And they have been, dude, my entire fucking life. Bro, they're just like, again, defunding doesn't mean we won't have any type of policing. It doesn't mean we're going to not punish criminals, but we have to have a system that actually functions effectively and does a good job. You know what I'm saying? Something that, is actually, following up on crimes and really being conscientious about it and not just a capitalist protecting boys club.
And unacceptable that they failed to do their job.
You have both been so generous with your time. I just want to ask Maria, before you go, you've been so courageous to speak out publicly. And if you could speak right now to any of the other victims who say they have been assaulted by Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell, what would you say to them? Because I know a lot of people are struggling right now.
Right. Well, there's a few of them I'm going to be reaching out to, and I want them to know that I love them. I'm so proud of people like Jennifer Rose and Shantae Davies and 𝗙𝗡 and just on 𝗙𝗡𝗍. They're the most beautiful young girls that were harmed. And I'm much older. I'm the den mother, and I'm mad. I'm the angry, bear. And I want those girls protected.
I'm sure they're grateful to have a den
mother.
Dude,
the way she said that, she was like, and I'm mad. You can tell, man. Like, dude, good for her, man. Seriously, fuck, like, predatory men, dude. It's just time to kneecap these motherfuckers, dude. I'm serious. We got to kneecap these motherfuckers, starting with Trump, bro. Metaphorically, of course, all right? I'm not going down on a physical rap, but you know what I'm saying? But metaphorically, we need to bring these guys down.
You out there speaking so bravely on their behalf.
The old one.
Maria Farmer, Jennifer Freeman, thank you both so much for being out here and sharing your story.
Thank you, Jen.
Dude, that's so powerful. Fucking A, baby. Oh, dude, we are going to, though, I'm going to keep making videos. All right, we are going to keep making videos about this. We're going to keep following up on this and trying to help bring about justice, because, man, the story is deep. They just keep getting ignored. They keep watching people get immunity, right? The fact that they give immunity to the sex traffickers is fucking unreal, man. You know what I'm saying? And is there do you have a clip of that, Natalie, where they say that Ghislaine is a victim? Is that something we can search on Twitter? Because, man, that fucking pisses me off. I want to know who said that. Let's see. But she's a scoundrel. Oh, here it is. I got it. I got it, Natalie. I got the clip right here. I found it. All right. Let's go. All right, here we go. Here we go.
And she's also been subpoenaed by the Oversight Committee. I think this is great. I do have a feeling that she just might be a victim. She just might be. There was a rush to judgment. There was a lot of chaos there for a while. All right. Granted, she hung out with Jeffrey Epstein.
She hung out?
That's apparently not good. But she's in jail.
Dude! What the actual fuck, bro? I'm about to drive to the Newsmax offices and park my fucking car in their lobby. Dude, granted, she hung out with Jeffrey Epstein, which is not good. Dude, she procured the girls. She literally, like, laid the carrot out to lure the girls. She sexually molested these girls. She touched them. She violated them. She sexually violated them with him. And this guy's like, she might be a victim. Oh my God, dude. There is no depth. There is no depth that these fucking losers won't sink to protect sexual predators. Like, what is it? Is it just in their bloodline? Like, goddamn, bro.
And she's also been subpoenaed by the Oversight Committee. I think this is great. I do have a feeling that she just might be a victim. She just might be. There was a rush to judgment. There was a lot of chaos there.
There was a rush to judgment.
While. All right. Granted, she hung out with Jeffrey Epstein.
Granted.
And I know that's apparently not good.
That's apparently not good. Dude, who is this guy? Holy shit, bro. Dude, what the fuck? Dude, what the fuck, bro? It is Newsmax. Is that Greg Kelly? It's not him, is it? Is that a stand-in? No, that's not him.
Subpoenaed.
That's not Greg Kelly. Is that Greg Kelly? Dude, why does he look like he aged about 100 fucking years, bro? Does he use a headshot from when he's 30? Dude, look at him though. Look at his headshots. Like, look at his fucking headshot. Dude, it's a picture of him from like 30 years ago. Dude, homie is like, oh my God, dude. Like, bro, you don't fucking look like that anymore, man. Jesus Christ, dude. He puts that image on all his shit. It's from his Grindr profile. Of course it is. Oh, dude. Oh, Lord. Oh, my God. Yeah, man. That shit is out fucking rageous, bro. Unfucking believable, man. Dude, they're calling Ghislaine Maxwell a victim. Like, man, that is like one of the most disturbing pieces of fucking journalism. Look at his face right there. Oh, what an unbelievable fucking nonsense for these guys. Bro. Dude, you just, it's like we need the 9-iron, baby. Jesus, look at Todd Blanche, dude. This guy looks like he's fucking, Dude, it looks like he needs a restraining order too with that fucking smile. Dude, look at him. And she's like, Ghislaine Maxwell's looking like a Manson family over here, dude. She is, dude. Fucking A, bro. Jesus Christ, dude. Oh my God. The pitching wedge. Dude, that shit is unreal. Dude, we need some accountability here. I'm not sure how we get it. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, while we're on this subject, I feel like we have to hear the Annie Farmer story, okay? Because we've now seen Maria talk about her sister and talk about reporting it to the FBI, but we got to see Annie Farmer. We got to actually hear her story. Okay, let's see if we can find her talking about it, okay? Is this it?
I'm so sorry that others will not have the opportunity to stand before him the way that I did. But I'm here today to speak on behalf of my sister.
Oh, wait, this is the one with all the music? Let me see.
I think it's easy.
I gotta find one without fucking music, bro. Here, let's see if this is it. Let's see here what we got. Yeah. This might be it.
I think it might have actually been a temporary residence that they had while the main property was being.
Okay, so we have it. Oh, it's just got all the music on there, bro. Right? I need one without fucking music. Right? Because I don't want to get copy struck. I'm going to get fucking copy struck. But here, let me find it in print. Okay? Let's go, baby. Oh, shit. I think that's it, isn't it? Isn't that 10? Oh, there it is. There it is, baby. There it is. All right, so let's find Annie Farmer. Okay, here we go. So this is it. We're going to do the dance party, and then we're gonna go into Annie Farmer's testimony about Ghislaine. Okay, because I think it's really important that we establish. Okay, that I think it's really important that we establish what type of person Ghislaine is. You know what I'm saying? You understand that using background music in news articles? Yeah, I mean, it can be good. It's just, I don't like it when they run it through the whole thing. It's good if it's whatever intro you're setting the mood, but I don't like it when they run it through the whole thing. But they also do that sometimes because that prevents you from then using the footage. But let's go ahead and get into, we're going to go ahead and get into the dance party real fast. Okay. We're going to do our usual deja vu song, right? Let's go, baby. A little taste of fucking Sweden here. Then we're going to catch our breath. Let's get into it.
They have a lot to say, but I've known
caution that I will make it out somehow.
A fucking banger. Let's go. Woo. Have to catch the breath right there, baby. That'll get us going. Yeah. All right. Oh, Lordy. Oh. Oh, Lordy. All right. Dude, let's go. Oh, man, dude. Out of fucking breath, bro. All right, now let's look at Annie Farmer's story, okay? And what she says here, accuser Annie Farmer testifies Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein violated her at age 16. She says, I felt sick to my stomach. And yeah, Superman is incredible. Good film. Really enjoyed it. All right. So here's what it says, okay? Now, this is from back in 2021. This is from the trial, okay? Annie Farmer, that Maria who we just saw on Jen Psaki's show, her younger sister, Annie Farmer, actually testified against Ghislaine in the trial. Okay? And so here's what it says. It says, prosecutors completed presenting their case against Ghislaine Maxwell on Friday after a key accuser at the British socialite sex abuse trial testified that Maxwell and her companion, Jeffrey Epstein, forced themselves on her when she was just 16. Annie Farmer told jurors she accepted an invitation to the financier's sprawling New Mexico ranch in 1996, hoping that Maxwell and Epstein would help her with academic endeavors. Now, there was something to, I believe they were like saying they were going to pay for her college. Instead, she said Maxwell ended up massaging her breasts and Epstein climbed into bed without her permission. 3 others have asserted at the trial that began 2 weeks ago that Maxwell recruited them to give Epstein massages meant as a ruse for sexual abuse. Maxwell, 59, has denied charges she groomed underage girls for Epstein, who killed himself in jail in 2019. Her lawyers say the government is making her a scapegoat for alleged sex crimes committed by her one-time boyfriend and moved immediately for a judgment of acquittal after prosecutors rested Friday afternoon. Okay. In her testimony, Farmer recalled the unwanted physical contact making her feel like she just wanted the weekend to be over. I wanted to be done with it. She added, all these experiences made me feel like they had a very different interest in me. Asked by a prosecutor at the start of her testimony if she saw anyone in the courtroom who had ever given her a massage, Farmer identified Maxwell, who was sitting at the defense table looking at Farmer. Farmer, now 42, took the stand using her true identity, a departure from the decision by 3 other accusers with similar stories who testified under pseudonyms or first names only to protect their privacy. 2 of the others who testified said they were just 14 when the abuse started, and that Maxwell sometimes participated in the encounters. Now, this is the thing that's really problematic, is Ghelaine wasn't just a point person. She was actively touching these girls. She was like sexually abusing them too. Okay, Farmer testified she met Epstein at age 16 on a 96 trip to New York City to visit her older sister. That's Maria, who was working for him at his Manhattan mansion. When they visited him at home, he seemed very friendly and down to earth, and even offered to mentor her. She said that during an outing to the movies with Epstein, he reached over to hold her hand and caress her leg. I felt sick to my stomach, she said. It was not something I was expecting at all. When Farmer returned home, she stayed in touch with the wealthy financier and accepted an invitation to travel to New Mexico with a plane ticket he paid for, even though she said, after what happened in the movie theater, I didn't want to be alone with him. She said she initially felt more comfortable because Maxwell was there. But when they took her to the movies, he right away began to hold my hand and rub her foot and arm throughout the film with no effort to hide the behavior from Maxwell. Once home, Maxwell insisted on giving Farmer a massage and told her to take off her clothes, Farmer testified. Maxwell pulled down the sheet and exposed my breasts and started rubbing on my breasts. It didn't make sense to me that would happen. I so badly wanted to get off the table and have the massage be done. Farmer accepted $1.5 million from a fund set up to compensate Epstein victims. The encounters occurred in New Mexico, which did not have a specific age of consent statute, although its laws criminalize all sexual contact of a minor under the age 13 when coercion or force is involved. On cross-examination, a defense lawyer repeatedly emphasized through her questions that Maxwell was not involved in the most egregious behavior described by Farmer, and elicited that Farmer was not sure she was naked during the massage, although she was certain that her breasts were exposed. Like, dude, like it matters if her panties were on or off. Like, dude, touching is still touching. Okay? Prosecutors also called Farmer's former boyfriend and her mother as witnesses to support her testimony. David James Mulligan, 42, testified that Farmer told him she was touched on the breast when she was massaged in New Mexico. She told me that she felt fearful and awkward and helpless, he said. And then her mom also corroborated it, saying when Farmer arrived home from the trip, she was quiet and withdrawn. When Farmer finally did say something at a later date, she said, I don't want to talk about it, and I'm not going to let it ruin my life. So yeah, so that's it. The fact that, you know, Ghislaine Maxwell was also in on this abuse. And you know, there are so many victims, right? And then what do we got? We got that Newsmax guy walking around calling Ghislaine Maxwell a victim. Bro, yeah, it's crazy. And when you think about it, guys, these women, they're risking their lives, you know, to speak up about this. It's fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? They're literally risking their lives to try and hold these guys accountable. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And over the next coming days, as I do research, we are going to hear many, many more stories about this stuff. And we're going to shine a light on all of it. But now, I do want to go and look at the Harry Enton poll. Okay, now you know I'm not like the huge fan of Harry Enton. Okay, I frankly find him to be a little annoying, and you know, with his polls and whatever. But I thought his poll about Trump's independent voter scenario is really interesting right here. Okay, this is worth a watch, dude. You like the Goo Goo Doll shirt? I got this from my son, actually, right? From my 20-year-old. Watch this poll, okay? Because Trump is, as we hit this crisis of, you know, Epstein and obviously the MAGA base is getting a little bit fractured because many of them want answers here. And I'll be honest, I'm not sure how they're going to respond to Ghislaine Maxwell, the actual abuser, like testifying and saying, these guys did it. I don't know how people are going to respond, but these poll numbers are dreadful for Donald Trump right now because we know his hardcore MAGA base is untouchable. Okay. We know that for the most part, like 30% of his voters, even if they caught him, raping their daughters, they would still be, supporting Trump. They'd be like, yeah, I got another daughter. You want her too? Right? Come on, Trumpy. Oh, you want to rape my wife? Come on over. Right? I'm serious. They are just fucking gone. Okay. They are like gone. But there's independents who, we're in America. They wouldn't vote for a black woman, but they are not happy with Trump. And here we go.
Data analyst Harry Enton is with us this morning. What group are we talking about, Harry?
We are talking about independents, Mr. Berman. I will say this is the biggest warning sign, the biggest danger sign for President Trump in his second term so far. Why is that? Because it does not appear that there is a bottom to which Donald's support can't fall to. What are we talking about? Trump's net approval rating with independents. There was all this hubbub.
Look at these numbers, guys. Oh, my God. In January, he was averaging -3 with independents. In July, it's -29. And the Gallup poll is -35. Dude, homie, and we haven't even really hit the bad effects yet of the tariffs and some of these moves. Like, homie is drowning. Like Trump's lungs are filling up with liquid as we speak.
About Gallup that came out this past week. You see, back in January, it was -2 points. Now it's -35 points. But what's important here is Gallup is largely matching the average. Back in January, in the average, Trump's net approval rating with independents was -3. Look at where it's fallen to now, -29 points. That is a drop of over 25 points with the key part of the electorate. If you're not winning among independents, you're probably not winning overall. And when your net approval rating's -29 points, you are definitely not winning overall when you're that low with independents.
It's just the size of the drop. It's staggering.
It's huge.
Okay, so how does this compare historically?
Yeah, we were talking about Trump's overall approval rating, that it was the second worst overall. But we look among independents, it is the worst on record at this point.
Dude, look at this. He was underwater in 2017 before the clock cleaning that happened in 2018. And now he's even worse. He broke his own record. Okay, Trump had the record for the worst polling among independents in your term, and he just broke his 8-year-old record, bro.
My goodness gracious. Worst net approval ratings ever 6 months in among independents. Last time around, Trump broke the all-time record at -23 points. He is even lower than that now. At -29 points, he has broken his own record for the worst on record. As I said at the beginning, there appears to be no fall, and Trump is certainly falling through.
It gets worse, though.
So during the Biden administration, I think there was a lot of thinking that maybe enough focus wasn't being paid to the effect that inflation had on people's thinking. And it may very well be that inflation's playing a bigger role in opinions than we recognize.
Yeah, so inflation in my mind was what cost Joe Biden the presidency more than any other factor, and it brought him down. But guess what? Donald Trump at this point, his net approval rating on inflation among independents, it's actually worse than Biden's was a year ago.
There's no way, bro. Like, Biden was getting devastated because of inflation, which most of it was for the pandemic, right? But the fact that Trump is even lower now is, it's deserved. He made a lot of bold promises. And then his tariffs and his trade wars and the ridiculous nature of him, like, blackmailing industries and shit like that. And all the time he's spending attacking, like, colleges and states on trans rights. Like, the prices of everything's going up, man. You go to try to buy a fucking steak and it's like $25, dude, for the cheapest fucking steak, bro.
Biden was way, way underwater at -38 points. But look at Trump and the average of polls on inflation. Oh, my goodness gracious. -45 points.
Dude, -45. Like, I'll be honest, guys. I don't think I've ever seen a president poll -45 on independence in the history of being alive. I've been on this planet for 55 years. I've seen a lot of unpleasant presidencies, bro.
thought I'd see the day, especially this early on in the Trump administration.
Dude.
This early, 45 points, gracious, minus 45 points. I never
Dude,
thought
that
I'd
goodness
see the day.
gracious.
Average of polls on inflation. Oh my goodness gracious, minus 45 points. I never thought I'd see the day, especially this early on in the Trump administration. The issue that in large part got him elected is at this point the issue more so than any other that is dragging him down. If this is what we have on midterm day come 2026, I can promise you this. The Republican majority in the House, you can wave adios amigos goodbye to it because Republicans, simply put, can't win with this number.
Dude, yeah, there's no way, bro. There's just no way, dude. That is like so brutal. Those numbers are brutal. Now, here's the problem. The problem is Trump is going to start flailing. Okay? He is going to start flailing. I mean, we've already seen it. We've already seen it just in in this whole Epstein scenario, right? He said he wasn't in the files. Then we find out he is. He sues the Wall Street Journal. That suit's going to disappear. He says it's a hoax created by Obama. And now they're like interviewing Ghislaine Maxwell. I mean, he is all over the map. But these guys are in trouble. So the problem is as they get in trouble with these numbers, that means we are going to have much more insane, scandals and chaos that comes out. And Hallie, just so you know, it doesn't matter about martial law. We had elections during the Civil War, guys. There's no exemption in the U.S. Martial law, none of that. There is nothing stopping a United States election, okay? There's just not. We had them during the fucking Civil War, okay? There is no way that he can prevent an election from happening. It's just not possible. They're not run by the government. They're not run by the federal government. The only thing that could happen is a whole bunch of red states could not have elections, but that would fuck him. You know what I'm saying? Dude, you know what I mean? There's nothing, there's no stopping the election, right? He can do whatever he wants. Now, the problem that we do face is how they're trying to attack some of the elections, how they're trying to attack, obviously they're trying to get voter rolls. They're trying to throw people off voter rolls. They're trying to get sort of draconian voter ID legislation. So, I mean, there's going to be some chaos. There's definitely going to be some chaos. But I think there's right now, one of the main battles that we have that's brewing is what's going on in Texas, which is Texas is obviously, they've been talking about gerrymandering the state to get a few more seats. But Gavin Newsom made an announcement today, okay, where California is stepping up, okay? He just literally had, first off, he's unpacking all of Trump's lies, which love him or hate him, he's doing a pretty good job of battling. But here's what his announcement was today. Okay, where California basically said, you know what, guys? If Texas is going to gerrymander, we're going to do it too. Okay, look at this. Texas lawmakers, guys. A bunch of Texas lawmakers. Texas is on recess right now. So a whole bunch of Texas lawmakers went to California and they met with Gavin Newsom. And they're like, you know what? Fuck you, Texas. If you're going to gerrymander and make 5 more seats, guess what? We're going to make 10 fucking seats. Fuck you. And I imagine some other states will follow suit.
Everything is at stake if we're not successful next year in taking back the House of Representatives. Of course, we want a fair playing field. We want to play the game on the terms where everybody is playing by the same set of rules. That's no longer the case. We have to disenthrall ourselves that that's the case. Not with Donald Trump, not when he made a call to the governor of Texas.
All right, and again, now I have many issues with Gavin Newsom, but I'm going to give him a little credit for for finally calling a spade here and saying, you know what? We're tired of pretending like we should play by the rules while the Republicans come in and shit all over the rules. So you know what, guys? If you're going to come in and shit all over the rules, then fuck you. We're shitting on the rules too, and we're going to do it even better than you do, right? I mean, it's just time for this. I am tired of Democrats sitting there waiting for the Republicans to obey the rules, the norms, the Constitution. It's like, fuck you, man. Let's play some dirty ball.
And talked about finding 5 additional seats so that he can try to hold the line and maintain the majority in the House of Representatives. The game has changed. It is a 5-alarm fire for democracy in the United States of America.
Dude, let's go. He's using the fucking fire siren right there to be like, yeah, let's throw that in there.
And so that's why we're here, to have the back not only of those representatives from Texas, but the people of Texas that are struggling and suffering from the same kind of assault on not just the rule of law, but this assault on democracy that binds us together as a nation.
Right. So, yeah, so California's in, okay? He met with the members of the Texas legislature, and they are actively like in motion. And I really hope other states do this as well. Okay. Now there are going to be some changes, as we know. Wisconsin's already underway, I believe, with redistricting. That's why that Supreme Court battle was so important. The one that Elon dumped $30 million in and lost was just epic, because Wisconsin's going to be drawing some new boundaries. And that should change the face there, because Wisconsin is like a 50-50 state in statewide elections, but they had, I believe they had like 6-2 or 8-2 Republican. Let me see. The congressional districts in Wisconsin. Look at this shit. Okay. So the Wisconsin by party is 2 Republican districts and 6. Okay. It is fucking 6 Republicans and 2 Democrats, but it's a 50-50 state. It's like 52-48 blue, but they're 6 and 2. So I think that is going to end up being like 4-4 or 5-3. This is actually getting changed. Okay. And the win of that Supreme Court seat is going to affect this. It's like horribly gerrymandered. You know what I mean? I mean, it's fucking crazy. So they're redrawing. Those maps are going to be happening. I think it's going to be done before 2026. It'll definitely be done before 2028. But again, and their state legislature is even worse. Their state legislature in Wisconsin is like 2/3 Republican in both fucking houses, even though the state is like 52% Democratic in most every statewide election. So yeah, so there's going to be a lot of changes. I would like to see New York get in on this. I would like to see Illinois get in on this. I feel like Washington and Oregon could probably do a little bit of redistricting as well. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I mean, I think we should really get on this, because I know Ohio is probably going to do the same shit the other way. But as much as I hate Gavin Newsom, I do like that he is putting out a fight and specifically calling out the lies. He's doing a really good job of combating, you know, and yeah, Pennsylvania is going through some shit. Dude, Pennsylvania has been getting rat fucked by this guy. Okay, by this fucking weirdo, Scott Presler. He's been going around, this fucking bizarro. He's been going around like trying to make Pennsylvania red by doing these crazy voter registration drives and shit. Okay, he's not even trans. He's just a gay dude, right? He is their fucking the one gay dude that they like. That is like all over the place. Dude, look at this photo, bro. This photo is so creepy, dude. He's so creepy. Oh, God, dude. Republicans, they can't not be creepy, dude. What the fuck are we doing, man? Jesus. Dude, yeah, I get up in his replies a lot because he's a fucking degenerate, dude. He is. He is a degenerate. Jesus Christ, bro. All right. Woo. Dude, I got it. I'm going to give Gavin Newsom a little credit where credit is due. I have not liked the way he's been sort of like not taking on the trans rights fights, but it's been really confusing though, because he's not been like changing the laws in California to negatively affect transgender people, but he sort of stopped pushing for their rights. And he sort of has been sort of like mute out in the world in this weird gray area on trans rights, while simultaneously in California, like they've still been protecting transgender people for the most part. So it's a little confusing what's going on there. I think they're trying to figure out, strategy. I mean, obviously the Republicans have been for years have been hammering away at this anti-trans stuff. So we shall see. But I've definitely got a close eye on him. Now, dude, my thing is if he wins the primary, I'm going to get behind him. Whoever wins the primary gets my full support, and I'm not going to attack them at all. Okay? And hey, I'm glad though, Embers, I'm glad you brought up homeless people, because we do have to talk about something that is a fucking recurring issue here, okay, is this, right here. It was something that Trump signed, okay? It was, where is it? Hold on one sec. I thought I posted it. Oh, this right here. Okay. This is what I'm talking about right here. All right. Is so Trump signed an executive order today. Okay. He signed an executive order to allow cities and states to remove homeless people off the streets and into treatment centers. But here's the problem, guys. The problem is what treatment centers, right? Simultaneously, FEMA money is going to these states to build internment camps, okay? And so there aren't like treatment centers to like take care of homeless people right now. Again, guys, I have spoken about this a lot, about how after reading Project 2025 and after digging through the whole like sort of long game of what Project 2025 appeared to want to do, and with the housing costs, the way corporations and hedge funds are buying houses and then not renting them out, they're jacking up housing prices. I have for a long time been talking about, hey guys, I think their long game is to force large swaths of the population into homelessness, so then you can get some type of national like marker as being indigent, and so you can then be put into work camps and become part of a free labor force. So instead of having immigrants work jobs out in the field, it will be interned homeless people that are being forced to work because you've been swept off the streets. And it really looks like, it sounds exactly like slavery, guys. And there are a lot of signs with Project 2025 and some of the way these guys have talked that it looks like this is a thing on their fucking afterburner. Okay? And this right here is just a huge red flag. Okay? That an executive order that allows cities and states to right? I mean, being homeless is not a fucking crime, guys. Having nowhere to live. These are like vagrancy laws. Okay? This is like the Reconstruction era, post-Civil War shit when they had the black codes. And what were those? A bunch of people got let off of plantations, but they had no money, they had no jobs, they had no place to live. So immediately the police went around to the black people and said, hey, where do you live? Where's your job? How much money do you have? Oh, you're a vagrant. We're going to put you in jail. And they would put them in jail and then lease them out to the fucking plantations. So these people got let off the plantations and freed from slavery, and then they got licensed out by the cops right back to the very plantations. The whole thing was just a scam. And so this feels like real similar to a modern day version of that. Let's see if we can find a video. All right. And then we're going to watch Anna. And yo, love you. Good night, baby. See you tomorrow. Oh, we got something with Portland. All right, let's see what we got here. Portland.
We begin tonight.
Oh my God, that was loud. Jesus. We got a vote. Brittany Page did a video about it. All right. Yeah, no, I think I saw that in chat. Let me see what her video is. How long is her video? Her video is 16 minutes. All right. So maybe we'll look at that as a developing story tomorrow, because I don't think I'm going to have time to watch that and the Anna thing. But I do want to watch this quick short one because it has something to do with Portland and see what's going on here. Just a real quick snippet.
Live look at Washington, D.C. Today, the president signed an executive order to make it easier for towns and cities to remove homeless people from the streets. Tonight, many are condemning the order. K2's on your side with what this could mean for our region. Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us for K2 News at 11. I'm Deborah Knapp. The order directs Attorney General Pam Bondi to end consent decrees that limit cities from moving people from streets to shelters. Victor Park is live for us in Northeast Portland with reaction from local leaders. Victor?
Brutal.
Hey, good evening, Deb. Well, President Trump thinks this effort will make cities safer. In fact, he claims that this order will remove drugs and violent criminals from our streets.
Dude, but this is such bullshit, because let me just tell you, as somebody who lives very urban and in proximity to homeless camps, a lot of homeless here, the crimes that homeless people commit are like the pettiest of the petty crimes. Like if you leave some shit on your porch or whatever, they may steal shit. You may find them passed out on your curb or something occasionally, but they are not committing violent crimes. Okay? They're just not. Dude, that's not, it has never been the case where the homeless people are out there committing violent fucking crimes. You know, they may be stealing, they may steal some food and shit, or try to steal shit from a grocery store or convenience store, but like, dude, they're not fucking harming citizens, man. That is such a bullshit fucking, you know what I mean?
Tonight, Republicans are praising President Trump's effort to push cities like Portland to take action on the homeless crisis.
We spent $724 million in the Portland metro area. So Clackamas, Multnomah.
Dude, look at this clown, dude. This guy looks like a Republican, bro. Dude, I want to see your browser history there, fucknuts.
Washington County on homelessness last year. And I bet you can ask anybody, do they think that it really changed anything?
The order makes it easier for cities to remove homeless people from their streets. like redirecting federal funding to ensure those causing public disorder or suffering from mental illness are moved into treatment centers or other facilities. And it prioritizes grants for cities and states that crack down on illegal drug use, camping, and track sex offenders. The order comes after the Supreme Court ruled in favor of grants passed in Oregon on ticketing homeless people for sleeping outside. Right now, a city ordinance allows Portland police to arrest those camping on public right-of-ways when there is reasonable shelter. And on Thursday, Governor 𝗪𝗪 signing a bill to fund a permanent statewide shelter program. In the meantime,
dude, all right, a statewide shelter program, that's a start. But that's what we need, man. We need a place where we can, like, we should be able to get them off the street instead of funneling money into venture after venture after venture that fails, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man.
Disability Rights Oregon is announcing Trump's order. People with serious mental illness are more likely to be victims of crime
absolutely,
than to be a danger to anyone, the statement says. If we really wanted to make our communities safer, we'd be investing billions in behavioral health services. The order is giving some hope.
Trump is taking a stance on this to give more of the authority back to counties and cities.
Dude, these Republicans are just clowns, bro. Right? They're just clowns, dude.
All right, in the meantime, and in response to Trump's executive order, Governor Tina Kotek's office tells me she is focused on how to handle the homeless crisis here in Oregon. And a representative for Mayor Keith Wilson tells me his team is analyzing this executive order and trying to figure out how it would work with current state laws. We are live here in the Kearns neighborhood of Northeast Portland. I'm Victor Park, K2 News.
Victor, thank you. Tonight, Oregon Governor Tina 𝗪𝗪que building on her goal to address the homeless crisis by signing a bill establishing a statewide shelter program. The bill invests more than $200 million to maintain shelter services established in 2023. Just 3 years ago, Oregon had one of the worst unsheltered homeless rates in the U.S. Now, in her first day in office, Governor 𝗪𝗪que declared a state of emergency to address the crisis. Since then, the governor says they're on track to deliver 4,800 shelter beds. Today's bill maintains funding for these shelters over the next 2 years. Shelters must offer 24/7 with year-round services to receive state funding.
There's a lot of shelters around the state were higher barrier models that had sobriety requirements. You couldn't bring your pet, you couldn't bring your partner. They were just unsuited in some ways, despite the good work they were doing, unsuited in some ways to tackle the scale and the scope of the problem that was in front of us. So
total funding is not the total amount that the governor originally asked for. Before the session, she asked for $215 million for the program.
Certainly more.
See, you know what's crazy about this, guys, is the fact that we don't have any safety net that kicks in before you end up homeless, right? And that's really like what's so maddening and really sad about this shit is the fact that your life can start to fall apart and you can be headed for rock bottom and there's just nothing there to help you, right? There's nowhere you can call to ask for help. If you get stuck, if you can't pay your rent, if you're out of food, right? I mean, you would think we just have a hotline that like if you can't pay your rent or if you're out of food or if you just got like lost your home, you can call that hotline and we come and fucking pick you up and like give you a hot meal. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy because I see videos like one of the things that Jenny and I do. Like one of our loving pastimes is on Instagram. We see like cute animal videos and we share them with each other. And what's wild to me, guys, is how I see day after day after day, like human beings will summon so much compassion for an animal, for a squirrel, for a dog, for a raccoon, for an alligator. But like we will summon zero for other human beings. You know what I'm saying? We will like no compassion for humans. For humans, it's like, fuck them. Let them fucking suffer. Like, ugh! You know what I mean? It's like, why do we do that, man? Like why are we like that? You know what I'm saying? And it's just fucking brutal, dude, that we just can't even summon like a simple fucking compassion and understanding that, you know, when people need help, we should just help them. You know what I mean?
For the program.
Certainly more resources are always helpful, but with that $204 million, people know what they're doing. They know how to do it effectively.
The state will be divided into regions with a minimum of 1 county required in each region. Program rules will be adopted January 1st, 2026. A regional coordinator will be selected by May 1st, 2026, and will assess local needs and distribute funding.
All right. So that's a little bit on that. Dude, yeah, it is pretty brutal. All right, let's watch this Anna Tucker Carlson thing here. That's where we're going to finish tonight. Do we have any hot spots that we need to check out? You know what I mean? So, I mean, the thing about homelessness, guys, is let me just tell you. So I was homeless for a year in LA. Okay. I had no apartment. I slept in my car. I slept on the beach at El Matador Beach. I fucking stayed on, couches and couch surfed with friends. And I was doing it ostensibly. I had a job and a cell phone that was like my alarm. And so I was doing it ostensibly to like save money for a van so I could go on tour and leave LA. But one of the things, guys, that was crazy that I was not expecting was the specific type of mental illness that affects you when you don't have a place to live. And what it is, guys, is it's a type of vulnerability when you don't have a door to close from the outside world. Like something actually happens to your brain, okay? Like we take it for granted that when you're having a bad day, you get out of public. You go into your house and you just close the door and you are in a room by yourself. The world is quieted. When you are homeless, you are in public all the time. You're never not in public, right? You could be eating in your car and somebody can come out of their house and be like, why are you parked in front of my house? They're calling the cops. Like, your privacy is gone. You never have a barrier between you and the outside world. And what happens is that energy of the outside world starts to fucking overwhelm you. It like really fucks you up. And I don't care who you are. I was like, I had a job. I was like, together, just missing a house. And that shit really began to fuck with my head. And you start getting like a raw nerve all the time. And your actual like personality, you become untrustworthy. You become hypervigilant in a way. You get agitated to the point of where the slightest overstimulation starts feeling like a threat. I mean, it's crazy. And then I, of course, ended up medicating myself even more to survive. I would have like bottles of scotch and I would sneak asleep in my rehearsal studio and I would fucking chug scotch and be like blocking the light under the doors. And like my whole existence became this really fucking paranoid like shit. And it was just a really weird social experiment. And like, but I had friends and a job and a place to go. So even then I could sort of like dig myself out of that by going to someone and crashing on their couch. If you have no buffer for that and you have nowhere to like actually escape that feeling, like that shit will completely overwhelm you. So there is like, man, it's like there's a mental illness that just being homeless creates that is fucked up, guys. It's really, really fucked up. You're so unprotected and it's traumatizing, man. It is really, really traumatizing. And so a lot of the homeless people are medicating, not because they're some crazy fucked up drug addicts and shit. They are literally just trying to survive that trauma, right? It is, and yes, you're right. I mean, a lot of people that are homeless already have mental health issues, but even if you're not, like, even if you're of perfect mental health, homelessness is going to fuck up your mental health in a profound way, man. It was so scary, dude. It was like so scary. It is. Yeah, it is. It is a type of PTSD that is like 24/7, man. You know what I mean? Dude, privacy, you're welcome, boss. And thank you. Yeah, it's weird because it's kind of like the shit that we don't talk about. We don't talk about that stuff that like about like, you know, just how traumatizing it is to not have a buffer between you and the energy of the world. And then when you're on the street, there's, you know, you're around a lot more crazy energy, right? The places that you end up going to find shelter are usually populated by tremendously unstable people. And the whole thing is just fraught with a lot of like, you know, heartbreak. It's just a lot of heartbreak, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of heartbreak. Now, all right, on a less serious note, okay, I'm bringing back terrible memories. That's okay. You're among friends, man. You're going to be all right. All right, we're going to get through this together. All right, let's see this Anna fucking 𝗙ście𝗶𝗹𝗪 fucking bullshit. All right. Anna the Tucker. Let's go. Dude, let's go. Eric, let's go, baby. Membership, let's go. Dude, we're fucking killing it, boss. We're growing. We're doing good work. We are doing good work. I'm really proud of the work we're doing, man. You know what I mean? Anna's becoming hysterical. Dude, Anna is fucking losing it, boss. She's losing the schmooze, man. What do we got? Are we watching the YouTube version? Is that it? Which one do we watch? Yeah, the YouTube version. Do we watch the full fucking Anna?
So normally when I do an unconventional interview with...
All right. Oh my God. Look at this house, dude. Dude, is this the one? This is the one. Yeah. Thank you, Natalie. Look at this house. Dude, what the fuck? How does he live in a house like this? You know what I mean? Like, look, dude, this house looks like fucking, like, bro, who would want to live in a space like that? I mean, it just looks so shitty, dude. And what's with the weird poodle painting? It is creepy. It's like a house you would see in like a B horror film or some shit. Dude, I know he's the heir to the Swanson food family. You would think he would be able to live in a house that doesn't look like a goddamn horror film movie set. Right? Dude, he lives at like the Loyal Order of the Moose Lodge, bro. Dude, he needs some wood shoved right up his fucking ass, boss. All right, let's see what our chapters are. Why Americans care so much about Epstein. The nuance of America's politics. Why 𝗙ście𝗶𝗹𝗪 admitted she was wrong about defunding the police. Americans do not want to be involved in foreign wars. Radical leftist ideology in California. The dark truth about Gavin Newsom. The dark truth. Anna's like, yeah, I slept with him and he rejected me. How corporate media stokes division. Will Tucker ever run for president? That one's like 30 seconds long. I don't think that one. Look at that section. Will Tucker run for president, dude? That thing is like a blip, dude. Don't blink. You'll miss that one. The backlash she's faced for speaking to Glenn Beck. The anger and self-hatred of liberal upper-class white women. Dude, that's literally Anna, right? Liberal upper-class white women. That's fucking Anna, isn't it? Like the dangers of centralized power, Israel, Gaza, and her Armenian genocide, future corporate media. All right, what section are we watching? Right? I'm kind of intrigued about the anger and self-hatred of the fucking, of the white upper class woman, dude. I kind of feel like that's Anna talking about herself. Dude, it does remind me of Leatherface's house, bro. Miss Ruthless, you're not wrong. It is, dude. Teeth on the floor like I'm waiting for the chicken to come running across the frame. Oh my God, dude. All right, we're going to start with the liberal white woman part. All right, here we go.
After that.
You have a decision to make. You can either build a niche audience, and I think that's the worst option because a niche audience wants to be catered to, and you have to be very careful to follow a very specific script. I'm not interested in that.
Oh, a niche audience has to be catered to because we know Anna is like, dude, she's a caterer, right? She's catering to the mega. Look at her eye makeup, though, dude. She really broke out the goth eyes for Tucker. She did. Look at her. I'm going to say I like her eye makeup, dude. She is like pulling out the goth eyeliner for Tucker, bro. The tuck. She's like, you brought me into Leatherface's house and I brought the goth eyeliner, right? You're going to fucking Botox me? Ooh, niche. Ooh, niche. Niche.
And I think that I personally went through an era of being a little bit radicalized on the left. And
dude, she was radicalized on the left. Wait a second. Dude, 𝗙ecie𝗶𝗹𝗪, the celebrity camel toe woman is telling us she was radicalized. Like, bro, TYT were the fucking people radicalizing people. Are you kidding me? They were like buying up all the content creators, had everyone under their umbrella. They were, you know what I mean? They literally positioned themselves as the de facto, like, entire voice of the progressive movement, man. She's saying she got radicalized. Was that when that Polymarket check cashed? Like, what the fucking, did they go out to dinner? Oh, shit. Woo!
I regret that because I unwittingly did build a bit of a niche audience.
Oh.
But those folks...
What do you mean radicalized?
I totally bought the narrative that, like, everyone on the right's racist, everyone on the right is greedy, that kind of stuff.
So, all right. So first off, I am so tired of her saying everyone on the right is racist because that's not what we say. Okay. Everyone on the right who votes for these guys are comfortable with voting for racists. Okay. Donald Trump is a racist. Clay Higgins, who fucking worked for David Duke's fucking campaign, is a racist. And so there are a ton of racists on the right, right? You have the KKK that is now part of the Republican Party, Nick Fuentes. So when you vote for these people, you are voting for racists. So if you're not racist yourself, you sure don't mind voting for racists. You don't mind supporting a racist child sex abuser like Donald Trump. Even if you're not a racist, you're okay with voting for one, right? And so that's the fucking problem. I mean, there are a lot of right-wing people that are racist, but it really is about the fact that racist people make up a significant portion of the right-wing party and the right-wing leadership. And when you vote for that party, you are endorsing them. You are saying that you're okay with that. You're fine with rapists. You're fine with racists. You're fine with the transphobic people. You're fine with them taking away civil rights. You are fine with them using Christianity as a cudgel while simultaneously fucking porn stars, cheating on their wives, getting their mistresses abortions, etc., etc., etc. Okay?
Trump term one, when everyone just got hysterical about Trump.
Yes.
Yeah, I get it.
That was the era that I'm not proud of. And I was basically building my own prison and I didn't realize it. And what I mean by that is once you...
What she means by that is she wasn't going to be able to fucking court the right-wing vote. She's like, now that I want to be a right-winger because everybody on the left hates me and knows that I'm a fraud and a grifter and a conniver. Now I really need that right-wing MAGA vote. So I'm going to say, I regret my past. Oh, dear Jesus, please forgive me for being one of them Democrats. Oh, please forgive me for saying defund the police. I swear to you, I'll fucking watch Deliverance on repeat and fucking insult all the trans people from here on out. Come on, please, Chicky. Oh, shit, bro. Dude, she's in prison, all right. Dude, look at her. Look at her face, dude. She knows. She's like, everything I'm about to tell you is complete and utter bullshit. But here, you ready? You ready for this, Tucker? Please help me get some new fans.
Basically building my own prison and I didn't realize it. And what I mean by that is once you have a niche audience, you're not allowed to deviate from a very specific and narrow ideology.
Yeah, she's like, once I became a leftist, me then being a racist, misogynist, black woman person got real difficult, right? It was hard for me to hate homeless people once I became a progressive. Right, dude? What the fuck, bro? Dude, again, I have no problem with having sex with porn stars. I don't. I have no problem. You want to have sex with porn stars? I love porn stars. I think they're great. I respect the hell out of them. They do fucking God's work, no doubt. Okay? I have no problem with that. What I have a problem with is when you walk around like telling other people their morality is bad while simultaneously you're fucking porn stars and hiding that shit and paying for abortions while taking away women's right to choose, right? That's where I draw the line, okay? You want to have eyes wide shut parties? You want to fuck a bunch of porn stars? You want to stick a fucking cucumber up your ass? I don't care, bro. Live it up, man. Cuke it up, bro. Get it. Put 2 of them up there. Fucking enjoy that shit. Film it and put it on fucking OnlyFans. But the hypocrisy, though, of you walking around judging other people's morality while you are living like a fucking skunk. That is where I have a problem with. You know what I'm saying? A major fucking problem.
And I don't want that. I'm not an ideologue. I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong. I'm willing to recalibrate on policy if I see it implemented and it's not working correctly. I ultimately just want truth. I want justice, and I want a country that represents its people. That's what I want. That's my core.
Dude, she's willing to recalibrate when it's time to get to the cash register.
Do you feel like it is bridgeable? Like there's so much anger.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and by the way, I do think the immigration thing and the crime thing sort of obscure it. Like the real fight is between educated whites. Like they're the ones who really hate each other.
Really?
I think that.
Tell me more about that.
Well, dude, the real fight is educated whites? No, the real fight is educated people against dumb fucking Christians. That's what the real fight is, right? It's Christians with no education, okay, who want to go back to a 1950s patriarchy with women raising their brats and fucking, you know what I'm saying? And, right? And they want to roll back to when nobody had any rights except the white Christian men, okay? It's those fucking people against everybody who has an education. You know, like, come on, man.
I think it's, I mean, I just know from my own experience, I often say this, but, you know, they called me a racist for many, many years. And I would always say, if I was racist, I would just admit it. Because
Oh, if I was racist, I would just admit it. Please, Tucker. Right? Dude, you remember how racist his fucking show was? If I was racist, I would just admit it. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't, Tucker. What the fuck is he talking about?
There are worse things, but I'm not. And I would get so hassled, always by the same demographic. And I would always say to my wife, you know, no black person's ever yelled at me. In fact, I've been hugged by a lot of black people.
No black person's ever yelled at you. No shit, bro. Racism doesn't work that way, boss. No, he's like, no black person's ever yelled at him. How many black people do you think Tucker Carlson comes across in his fucking wherever his home is out here? Fucking Leatherface's house in a neighborhood that's probably 99.999% white with only a couple Hispanic maids, right, that show up in the fucking area. Like, what the fuck, bro?
It's just a fact. I'm sorry, it's just true. And they don't seem to think I'm a racist, but it's always middle-aged white women who were yelling at me at Logan Airport.
Mm-hmm.
And like, what is that? No, I'm not whining. I mean, I don't really care, but it's just interesting. And so I think it's almost like fratricidal. It's like professional class whites who read the New Yorker, read the New York Times, like they're truly angry at each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I've just noticed this.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's propaganda and this thought that certain things are.
Dude, it is hard to take Anna seriously, bro. She is, you know what I'm saying? She is like if Tucker Carlson said, Anna, I want you to lick my ass crack right now, and I will fucking make sure some MAGA people like follow your blog. She would fucking do it, bro. She is so rudderless right now that she is like auditioning for the far right, being like, please, you know what I mean? I mean, she's hanging out with Lindy Lee and Jillian Michaels and Amy Dangerfield. They're all like having a tug of war with like one fucking brain cell on that PBD fucking propaganda show. And now she's at Tucker Carlson's little fucking serial killer house out in the woods. And she is just like, I'll say whatever you want, Tucker. What do you need me to do? Like, oh my God, I was wrong. I'm not proud of my past. I'm really like, ooh, those Democrats, they're so bad. Dude, she will do whatever it takes. She's like, look, I even put on some nice fucking eyelashes for you, Tucker. Like, what do you need, bro? Dude. Yeah, dude, the fucking Roman salute is coming any minute now, dude. You just know it. The minute I see her hand go up, I'm going to be like, oh my God, you know it's coming.
Way worse than they really are, or that like their perceived threats, I think, aren't real to the extent that they think it's real. And by speaking out and by confronting you and by, you know, doing what you're referring to, I think they get a sense of I'm doing something about it. You know?
No, I get it. No,
Yeah.
I'm not even attacking him. It's just interesting to me. Because it's clear, it's totally real in their minds.
It is, of course.
It's not just performative. It's like I felt rage before. So, and as you so eloquently described, like,
dude, he says he felt rage. Let me just see here if we can find something. Let me see here, because he says he's not a racist. Dude, look at some of this shit, bro. We have some good quotes with fucking some Tucker, right? Oh Lord, Lord have mercy, right? Like, oh shit, hold on. Dude, when did he finally get canned? Dude, he got canned because of the Dominion lawsuit, right? After years of lying about the election, and then the Dominion lawsuit that threatened to derail all of Fox if it went to Discovery and they started looking at the internal documents. So it was that $787 million. But here's a good one, though, from not long ago, where Tucker Carlson sent a racist text to a producer. It's not how white men fight, right? Oh, shit. This is just fucking one of many, okay? Right? He said he found himself rooting for a mob of Trump supporters to kill a person, right? Remember that shit? But I mean, dude, there is just like with him and racism. I mean, we have so many. If you look at he used to have the Chyrons, right? Where he would, dude, right? He used to have the shit. Like one of the things on his show that he was really big about was, remember the caravans? He would talk about the caravans, or he would say, let me see. He always had a big thing that said, right, like this, how exactly is diversity our strength? Remember, he would go hardcore in on like how diversity is a problem and how immigration destroys empires. And the caravan, right? He would make up the caravans all the time. Like he was a nonstop sort of replacement theory guy. Like always, okay? Always, 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 right? And that was a huge, you know, like, I mean, even this dude, anti-white mania. Like, really, Tucker? Come on, boss. You know what I'm saying? Like, right? I mean, I love this one where he says here, right? The thing, there was this one Chiron where he's got this goofy look on his face where he says, let me see, where is it? Right here. Remember this one? This is a fucking classic Tucker Carlson image. Right? America is not a racist country at its core, right? But like, guys, America, we now, sure, we're evolving, we're going through, but guys, we were the last country to abolish slavery, and we had to fight a civil war to do it. And then afterwards, we continued enslaving people with the black codes and shit right up until the 1940s on fucking sugar plantations down in Florida, guys. And segregation, which ended literally 5 years before I was born. That means segregation was deeply ensconced still here in America while my parents were in their fucking 20s and 30s. You know what I'm saying? Like, my God, we are so racist at our core. Racism was literally the foundational element of our capitalism, our entire financial success. Wall Street, the epicenter of the modern financial world. Wall Street was a slave trading market of New York City, and we still haven't changed the name. It is still down on Wall Street, where they traded slaves when New York City was called New Amsterdam. For the love of fucking God, bro. Like, it is like ensconced in our judicial system, our educational system, our political system, our fucking housing system, our financial system. It is like just intertwined in policing everything here in America. So now, even if we're not individually racist, we exist in a country that was founded and became an empire solely on racism and the abuses perpetrated on the native population here, where we took all their land, extinguished their food supply to control them, and the people of color that we literally built our entire economy on their backs, and then we never gave them shit except to lynch them and burn down their fucking, like, every time they had money. Okay, so yeah, America is indeed a country that is horribly racist at its core. Now, that doesn't mean we can't change it, okay? You know, there's a saying that it's not enough to not be racist. You have to be actively anti-racist. And so that's the next generation we need. We need to become anti-racist, not simply like, oh, we're not really racist. Like, what are you talking about? Oh, what are you talking about, JK? Like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? America had good music. Dude, our music came, like the blues, came right from the enslaved people. My God, our entire music fucking, like, our entire musical tradition in America was fucking on the backs of the enslaved as well.
That rage obscures, and I think maybe it's designed to obscure, the reality of, like, physical degradation all around us.
All around us.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and I think that is kind of the point. I think it is to some extent intentional. But what, since you do live in that world and have for so long, as rationally as you can, clinically as you can you explain what they're worried about?
Well, I mean, I think that their heart is in the right place.
Yeah. I'm giving them the presumption of good faith for sure.
Yeah.
I'm giving them the presumption of good faith. Sure you are, Tucker. Right? Sure you are. Because if you really were giving them the presumption of good faith, you would probably just go have a panel of them, right? Go have a town hall, right? With white women and talk to them why they want to do anti-racism work. Right? And I mean, all right, but here we go. You're fucking presuming good faith.
I just want to know, like, when some rich lady yells at me in the ski lift line, she thinks I'm racist. I know they always say that. But then there's also, like, there's a fascist takeover imminent. Is that part of it? Or
I think there's a fascist takeover imminent. Oh my God, dude. You ready? Oh shit, let's go. We're going to look at this.
I don't.
Where does it happen? Oh, is it set up right here? Oh, it's on it?
See color and I don't see sex.
Russell, you were quite right about the strange racial dynamic over at the 𝗙ecie𝗶𝗹𝗀 Inn, and every moment you're there, it becomes like more and more bizarre.
Yes, it's difficult to deny that there is a sort of a near 100% white customers, black staff.
Jillian, have you ever been to this place, 𝗙ecie𝗶𝗹𝗀 Island? It's
No.
So it's Southwest Florida. That's where Tucker lives, actually. And the 𝗙ecie𝗶𝗹𝗀 Inn is like their like elite place. And I just did this event there last night, and the staff was 100% black, and the clientele was 100% white. It was like to the point that it was like extremely bizarre.
Dude, look at this. Yeah, that's Tucker Carlson's place. But look at this shit, guys. Like, Jillian Michaels is hanging out with Russell Brand. Dude, another rapist. Like, what the fuck is wrong with these people, dude? They will give anybody who is like on their sides. It's called actual friends, actual rapist friends. Hi, guys. Hi, come hang out with me and my rapist friends. Jillian, the biggest loser, fucking Michaels. But she's like, oh, that's weird. Yeah, that's weird, Jillian. That's real weird. And these are the people you're kowtowing to with PBD and all this shit.
Uncomfortable. Yeah, you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's so funny. Uncomfortable. Hey, Jillian, are you having second thoughts about, like, your life right now? Are you having second thoughts on your life? You're sitting there in your super rich house with all these fucking, like lights up in your wood ceiling and shit. And you're like, oh my God, I'm so rich. And I was able to get gay married. And now I'm just hanging out with the racists and the rapists and the like child sex abusers. And I'm making so much money now. Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so uncomfortable that they're all so racist. Dude, what the fuck, bro? And she's hanging out with a guy who got paid by Russia to spread propaganda. Like, good work, Jillian.
Weird.
And
so weird.
The logo of the hotel is Florida the way it's supposed to be.
Oh my God. The Florida the way it's supposed to be, which of course, Florida is like deeply fucking racist. They literally were the last bastion of slavery with those sugar plantations right into the 1940s. You know what I'm saying? Like crazy. All right, we're going to go. I'm curious about this. I may save that. We may look into that for another time because that woman who just piled in, like, I'm curious about what's going on there. Oh my God, is that Sage Steele? That is, isn't it? Oh my God, it is Sage Steele, dude. She is fucking toxic. All right. Jesus.
Or what is
yeah,
the word?
well, I mean, okay, let's talk about the fascist takeover because there is a part of me that's a little bit worried about that, to be honest.
I am too.
Okay, so
not just part of me, a lot of me.
Oh shit, dude. Tucker and Anna are both concerned about the fascist takeover. Oh, get your popcorn, people. Because, like, who are they worried about? I mean, is Tucker worried about a fascist takeover from Trump? Or is he worried about the woke people? Oh, they're going to make him wear a rainbow on his fucking shirt. Dude, this is bizarre.
Look, I don't know what's in those women's heads. So I just don't understand them. So I feel weird talking about what they're thinking and what motivates them.
Every person should be worried about the centralization of power and the use of technology to strip basic rights from citizens.
Yeah. Like
everybody.
Like the Palantir stuff concerns me a little bit. You know?
Anytime, yeah. I mean, the technology, not just Palantir, but all the emerging technology, supercomputing, AI, all of this stuff, facial recognition, like it could be used to enslave the population really easily.
Totally. Yeah.
So I don't know why. I mean, everyone should be freaked out about that.
Be worried about that. Definitely.
Dude, what are these guys doing, bro? What about Polymarket? That check. Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you. No, sorry, Tucker.
I'm also a little bit worried about, and I don't know how large this group of people in America happens to be, but you're hearing from them more and more. This idea that, no, we need to move toward a post-liberal and like post-liberal democracy. You know what I'm saying? Like a rejection of the democratic process overall. Like 𝗙ṛďś is one of the figures who's been kind of preaching about this. He sounds really dumb, so I don't know how seriously people really take him. But he purports to want a monarchy in this country, which sounds insane.
Dude, why are they talking about this 𝗙ṛďś and not talking about the Trump 2028 hats? You know what I mean? Like, what is she doing? Like, she wants to talk about 𝗙ṛďś without talking about J.D. Vance, without talking about the fact that TYT took money from Polymarket, which is Peter Thiel, which is part of that whole crowd. And Donald Trump is selling Trump 2028 merchandise and wanting to be king and shit. And now we're going to have this little like Yarvin conversation, but we're going to ignore the ginormous elephant in the room of like Project 2025 and fucking the 𝗙𝗪𝗪_𝗪skin.
Look, I'm opposed to monarchy. And the truth, however, is that the trends you're describing have totally discredited liberal democracy. That's my fear. And I think maybe it's intentional.
Oh, for sure it's intentional.
So chaotic that we beg for a dictator. I kind of feel like that's happening.
I hope people aren't begging for a dictator because you don't like the fact that the government isn't really representing your interests right now. Get a load of what it's going to be like to live under a dictator where you have no say at all.
Right. No, I'm talking.
Yeah, but MAGA's already begging for a dictator. And they're not begging for a dictator because they think that dictator's going to take care of their needs. They've given up on any of their needs being met. And they're begging for a dictator to just punish everybody that they hate so they can relish in the people they dislike being fucking imprisoned or shot or killed or wounded or harassed or forced into the shadows. It has nothing to do with their interests. They vote against their own goddamn interests. You know what I'm saying? Like they literally just want to harm people, right? We have masked marauders with cars with no license plates running around just scooping people up off the streets. No warrant, no badge, no fucking due process. Like, what the fuck is she even talking about, man? Man, I'm getting pissed, bro. Dude. Jesus Christ, bro.
More about like quality of life questions. Like if there are home invasions going on and the homeowner doesn't have any expectation the cops are going to save him, that kind of stuff, that's not theoretical. That's like, that induces panic.
True. Yeah.
Dude, if there's a home invasion and you're worried about cops, that's already reality. Like if you go into some of these like poor minority neighborhoods, like the cops don't even fucking show up, man. You know what I'm saying? That's already a reality for part of America. Dude, Tucker doesn't know that because, you know, he hasn't spent enough time with all his black friends from the poorer parts of town. Dude, like, holy shit, these guys are fucking clueless. I know, and it's not like home invasions happen like every day. Oh, the only invasion you're going to have in your home right now, most likely, is going to be ICE. Like, Jesus Christ.
It makes me uncomfortable even thinking about it, you know? So if you have a lot more of that, people will be like, I don't really give a shit about voting. What I care about is my kids not being killed.
Yeah, actually, you make a really good point, which is why it's so important for Americans who value liberal democracy to really start thinking seriously about saving it.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Maybe like you could have voted for Kamala Harris instead of this fucking like letting Donald Trump. You could have not smashed the Democratic Party for 2 fucking years, Anna. You fucking clown. Like, what is she talking about, bro?
Yeah, that's what I want.
But don't you feel like when people are under, like if you were on a plane flying across the Pacific that dropped 20,000 feet in a minute, and you're saying your prayers, maybe you're an atheist, you're saying prayers anyway, couldn't control yourself. And what would you be willing to do or give up in exchange for not dying? In other words, if you're totally panicked, you're in free fall in a commercial airliner, God, I will do anything. Like that's kind of...
Dude, Tucker's like, Tucker's trying to roll this into his Grindr profile is what he's doing. He's like, let me set up a situation where I can polish Trump's knob. Dude, he is trying to sell monarchy, bro. Jesus.
What is happening with crime, I think.
Yeah. And not just crime.
Not just crime.
Yeah. I mean, so many issues. It is a problem when most Americans agree on something and our politicians know it, but they do the opposite anyway. And I've been increasingly angry with the fact that, I feel that the interests of Americans and how they feel about going to war with Iran, for instance, right? Most Americans do not want to go to war with Iran. And it didn't matter, okay? The United States bombed Iran's nuclear sites on behalf of Israel anyway, which could have led to a full-blown hot war. It didn't, because...
See, this is where her and Tucker are going to have like sweet nothings, man, when they get into their anti-Israel, right? This is like, dude, they're going to be like whispering sweet nothings to each other. This is their bread and butter. They're going to be like, oh...
because of Iran having restraint, but we're not done yet. And
but don't you feel ashamed that it didn't lead to nuclear war? This is the new line.
I know.
You are wrong. You're an idiot.
That's, by the way, that line is stupid.
How dare you worry about that?
Yeah, we're not. By the way, it's not over yet. And
yeah, it's not even close to over, right? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, all right, hold on. We're going to go back and we are going to watch a minute. I want to see a little bit here about the growing nuance of America's political parties. This fucking looks interesting. We may have to break this up over a couple days. No, let's see the Jeffrey Epstein bit, okay?
So normally when I do an unconventional interview with like Putin or the president of Iran, people get mad and they ask, why are you talking to him? This is one of those very rare, maybe unique circumstances where people are going to ask you,
yes.
Why are you talking to him?
Yeah.
And people are going to get mad.
People are going to get very angry. I know. And
nobody's going to get angry that you're talking to Tucker Carlson, Anna. People are going to get angry because you're going to polish the Tucker Carlson. You're going to polish the right-wing knob. That's why people are going to get angry, because you're going on this show to fucking play kissy-kissy and to confirm the right-wing viewpoints about the left, about the Democrats, about Gavin Newsom. You're going to try and cuck his presidential campaign, I'm sure, right? And you won't push back on anything. You'll just be a useful idiot for him to sell his narratives about how they're not racist and they're really the good guys and like monarchy's not really that bad and yada, yada, yada.
Your producers had been reaching out trying to get me to talk to you for at least a year and a half. And my feelings toward coming on your show went from I would never in a million years to kind of giving myself the opportunity to listen to your podcast, to figure out who you really are.
Oh, yeah. Hers was like, I would never listen to you in a million years to I really need the money. And so I better go hone in on your fucking fan base.
Of course, I had very strong thoughts about who you are.
Really?
Yeah, but I realized that it was based on clips that I would watch of you that had gone viral. And they had gone viral because they were offensive, or you had said something that was...
Viral like syphilis is viral.
I mean, pretty much. Okay. I mean, you should think...
Dude, they have a lot of sexual references going on in this, dude. A little... Dude, what is going on, bro? This is so gross, dude. She's playing footsie with fucking Tucker Carlson, boss.
That way, because it was mostly painting you in a very negative light.
Hey, my name's Tucker. My name's Tucker Carlson. Shit hell. Dude, I live in fucking Leatherface's house out in the plantation.
And to be sure, you and I have some pretty deep disagreements, but I think that some of what you've been talking about lately like hits at the heart of what I care most about. And that's the importance of this country representing the American people, the importance of the United States being a sovereign country,
The United States being a sovereign, dude, Mr. Long Ears, let's go, baby. We appreciate you, boss. Dude, let's go, dude, let's go. Yeah! Making it rain. Dude, the United States being a sovereign country. What the fuck is she talking about, bro?
Has politicians and a government that prioritizes the American people as opposed to a foreign government. And speaking out the way you've been speaking out about some of these issues takes a lot of courage because it goes against the grain and it goes against, decades of propaganda and conditioning in American media. And so to me, that commonality that you and I share made me a lot more open-minded to coming on this show.
Oh my God, dude. She is talking in code about how it's their mutual hatred of Israel that is tying them together. And she's like implying that Israel controls America, right? That's what this is really about. Wow, though. She's starting to like talk like a right winger, right? She is like talking about the way she's talking about it, where she's not just coming out and saying what she means, but she's sort of speaking in code. So everybody that's kind of like in the know can sort of like hone in on it. And that's really fucking creepy that she's already there.
Because I do think that Americans from across the political spectrum need to find areas of agreement, especially as it pertains to making this country better, so we can apply appropriate pressure on our politicians and get them to represent us, regardless of the corruption, regardless of the influence of foreign governments. At the end of the day, these politicians are nothing if it isn't, if it weren't for the American people, right? So like right now, what's really interesting is in Congress, it appears that there's this bipartisan effort to force a vote to release the Epstein files.
Yes.
And the only reason why that's happening is because there's a very loud and aggressive portion of the MAGA base that's demanding it, and they're not letting it go. And I commend them because I agree with them. I think we need transparency.
Dude, she's commending the MAGA base. Dude, the reason why that shit got subpoenaed is because of Robert fucking Garcia. You know what I'm saying? It's Robert fucking Garcia, man, fucking rep from California. Dude, it's not the MAGA base. I mean, the MAGA base is upset about it, but they're probably going to fucking polish Trump's knob no matter what. It's really Robert Garcia is the reason why that shit's getting subpoenaed. And it is like a strong Democratic presence now. And fucking, dude, Zionism is hugely problematic. Yeah. Who you talking to? It's true.
Need to know whether or not we literally have
so is capitalism
members in our government or influential people, in the periphery of our government who are pedophiles. I want to know.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
It's interesting, the framework that you laid out. The government of any country ought to be sovereign, which is to say it should make most of its big decisions on the basis of what's good for the people that it represents. And it's bad when foreign countries control your country.
Mm-hmm.
Those don't strike me as hateful statements at all. Those aren't expressions of animus against anybody, are they?
I don't think they're hateful statements at all. I'm an American. I love this country. I love the people in this country. And
Dude, she loves the people in this country. I don't think that's true, Anna. I know you're my favorite birthing person, but I know for a fact there are a lot of people in this country that you don't love. And many of them are in your own fucking party. Like, she loves the people in this country. Dude, except, let's make a list. Dude, oh shit.
I don't want to live in this ridiculous, like, perversion of the American government where they pretend to represent us, but in reality, Americans are on the back burner. Our tax dollars are being taken from us, not to help Americans who need help, but to give all sorts of subsidies to private industries that are already doing really well. Okay, they don't need extra subsidies or tax cuts or things like that. But in addition to that, all the foreign aid that we're pumping into the Middle East, Israel, right? Oftentimes when we talk about foreign aid that goes to Israel,
you know, her and Tucker, this is their meeting point right here. Israel.
At this point, I believe it's about, $4 billion a year on top of all of the military aid that we've been pumping into Israel over the last 2 years. I mean, it's unacceptable to me that we're doing that. And in the backdrop of that, you have the United States Congress cutting $1.1 trillion to Medicaid? Really? That's the problem? That's where we need to cut funding from? By the way, also cutting funding to food assistance? How do you justify sending tens of billions of dollars to Israel in the last 2 years alone while targeting cuts to Medicaid and food stamps? It makes me beyond angry. I think it's so unbelievably unjust. And if you speak out about it the way I'm doing right now, I'm sorry, I'm getting kind of aggressive. If you speak out about it like
she's getting aggressive, I'm not seeing that.
I am right now. People try to smear you as an anti-Semite. And you know what? I'm not an anti-Semite. I know what's in my heart. And I'm not going to let those smears stop me from saying what I know is correct and what's morally just.
Is it possible that people are slandered in order to prevent conversations like this from happening in the first place? So you said, I was hesitant to come on the show. I mean, the reason we wanted to book you and a bunch of people who work for me had the same feeling, is what you just said. Like, we can disagree on all kinds of things, but if the fundamental orientation is the U.S. government ought to make a good faith effort to improve the lives of Americans, that's not a partisan statement. That's not a crazy out there sentiment at all. And we saw that. It was like, oh yeah. And then you're like, yeah, but he's a Nazi. I can't do the Nazi show.
So, I mean,
so you sort of want, like, I have all kinds of stupid opinions. I've said all kinds of stupid things. I've had ugly opinions in the past. I'm not defending every opinion I have had or even currently have. I'm merely saying to reduce someone to a caricature is a kind of tactic to prevent anyone from having a real conversation with the person.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Tucker. We've really... See, this pisses me off because he's reduced himself to that fucking character. You know what I'm saying? He did that to himself, right? With all his racism and his misogyny and his outrageous opinions demonizing people, the fucking borderline eugenics kind of shit. You know what I mean? And he's like, oh yeah, you've reduced me. Oh, you caught, he's like, I'm sorry that it's like, Tucker, if you speak like a Nazi every day of your fucking show, eventually people are going to start calling you a Nazi. And it's not because they're reducing you to a caricature. But all right, we're going to pause there though. There he is. Look at him. America's not a racist country, right? But let's watch Anna's little clip here. All right, we're going to watch Anna's clip.
Look, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I'm a little scared I'm afraid of talking to people who are outside of my race because I don't know if I'm going to unintentionally step in it, right?
Yeah.
There's, and I hate that. Right. There's this
unintentionally step in it. What are you going to actually let fly with the N-word and you're worried you might offend them? What the fuck is she talking about? She can't talk to people outside her race because she might step in it. Huh, that's weird. I actually don't have that worry. What the fuck, bro?
I don't know. It's frigid. Because if all of the message is toward me and people who, I'm Armenian, but still they call me white passing.
Oh my God, dude, look at the chat. Somebody down here is adding Shoe, right? You know who Shoe is? Shoe on head. We fucking have covered her before. Somebody's fucking Shoe is watching this. Of course she is. She's like, oh, this is right up her alley. A little bit of veiled white supremacy and misogyny, right? With some eyelashes. Oh, fuck. Shoes in the chat. Look out. Look out. There's going to be a Manosphere video coming in 3, 2, One, men are the real victims here.
So, just got to go with that, right? If people who look like me are constantly told, you are inherently racist.
Oh.
Okay, you are inherently a bad person.
Oh, yeah. People who fucking look like me. Dude, what is that, dude? That shit is crazy.
If that's the start, and I had this debate with Cenk when it came to our rhetoric in regard to the other side, right? If the starting off point is, you are trash, and we think you're evil.
Yeah,
then
totally.
how does that, you're never going to move in a better direction. You're not going to move the country in a better direction. You're not going to improve race relations. You're going to make it worse.
See, here's the problem, right? The problem with this is like if Anna cannot be fucking right. Anna cannot be talked about like racism, right? If you know what I'm saying, like in the way the world goes is you're talking, and if you stumble into some racist or whatever, homophobic, I mean, we all stumble, we all say shit that, may have been like maybe on the edge of things. We're culturally programmed. I say shit sometimes and Jenny's like, wow, that's actually a little misogynist. And the way to operate with that is to listen to the people that are talking to you and to try and like open yourselves up to understand why they're having that discussion with you, right? It's not to see myself as inherently bad. If Jenny says I'm being misogynist, that doesn't mean I'm like, oh, I'm inherently bad. Oh my God, I'm a piece of shit. It's like, no, man, I was programmed with so much misogyny. The whole point is to try and identify it when it's happening and to try and like put it in check. But I mean, my God, dude, they were saying the N-word on TYT. Like, tell me that they don't have some fucking racism issues. They cannot support a black person ever. Kamala Harris, Karen Bass, like, dude, they even use the low IQ tropes. Oh yeah, she's so low IQ. It's like, are you shitting me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the idea of being able to see racism in our thought or language or programming is very different than you're a fucking hideous racist who has no value. You know what I mean? Like, dude, this shit is fucking
And that is what
wild.
I see happening. I think a lot of the division is due to the backlash to that kind of rhetoric. And I think that, look, I think racism...
Oh my God, you see that? She's like, no, we don't have racism in America, guys. The division is the people who are trying to clean up the racism. The backlash to the people that are trying to root it out and do better. That's really what's causing the division. Anna, fuck you. All right, no offense, but fuck you, Anna. Oh, Lordy. All right, I've seen enough. Dude, we could go all night, but I do have to go make some videos. That is a lot of victim blaming. Yeah, having a white woman, right, who, like, gets, like, whiting, like, pasty-faced whiting, you know what I'm saying? Like, white pasty face more every single day. Having her sit there and say that, like, oh, man, it's like, it's the people that are trying to, like, stamp out the racism or causing the division is crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Oh, shit, bro. Oh, dude, I'm going to go fucking stretch and meditate and make some fucking videos. Dude, yeah, Anna has seriously lost the plot, guys. And when was this? This was a while ago, 2 years ago. So 2 years ago, she was at. You know what I'm saying? 2 fucking years ago. You just got on? Yeah, no, go back and watch it, Shaves. It's a good one. All right, it's going to be worth watching, but I do have to go make some videos. I got the fucking grind, right? I got the grind. And the thing about it is yeah, is you know what I'm saying? Is fucking it's I mean, it is it's the thing that's hard about this is in the process, as America, as we try to heal some of our racial division here in America, okay, which America was really built on racial division, guys. We really were. Our entire economy, judicial system, everything here is built on racism. And so in the process of detangling that, there's going to be a million different opinions of like what the right and wrong way to do, even among people of color. Like if you do any anti-racism work, right? If you delve into anti-racism work, Jenny got very into this. She got very moved by George Floyd, and she wrote a play about like the internalized racism she took in as a kid, just in her schooling, how she got programmed with racism growing up in these wealthy white suburbs, right? In the way that she was educated. And when you go in and you start reading and exploring anti-racism work, you see that even the people of color that are like writing about anti-racism work, they have very divergent opinions about what the way forward is. You know, there's just not like one way forward, but there is one way forward in the fact of like listening to people of color, right? Listening and not taking it personal and not fucking like throwing it back on them if they say some stuff that like bruises us or triggers us. It's like, I think as white people, we have to understand that we're an important part of the fucking process, but we're not necessarily the ones that need to be leading the process. We need to learn how to be followers and how to be listeners without fucking feeling like we're giving up all our fucking power, or that we have to like take control of it, or that if you say something racism, that doesn't mean you are a racist, but also being able to like really take a hard look at ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? And in particular, it gets difficult because sometimes when I've experienced sometimes, and I've gotten this in a number of places, like being a white male, that sometimes in black spaces or sometimes in transgender spaces, I am perceived as an enemy. Okay. And one of the number one things that I try to take into account is to understand like why that might happen, and to not react as though like, you know what I'm saying? Like white people, if you go into a space of color, or you go into a space, you're cisgendered, you go into a space of like transgender space, and initially they might not react to you well, but like that doesn't mean we need to get hostile. That doesn't mean we need to like, hey, I was here to help and this is the way you treat me. It's like, no, you got to understand where that energy comes from, and you got to allow time for you to be trusted, and you got to just keep listening. And I think it's really hard for white people because we expect like instant fucking harmony, right? If there's not instant harmony, it's like, why am I not getting instant harmony? Because because like what's funny is they spend so much of their existence never in harmony. They're always treated like a threat or an outsider or awkward or like a person of color. In many cities, they go into a restaurant, they're the only black person in there. You know what I'm saying? And that feeling is not one of safety. It's not one of fucking, you know what I'm saying? And the minute though we are like remotely inconvenienced, we're like, how dare you? How dare you not make me feel harmonious all the time? When, sometimes we have to be the ones that feel a little discomfort and like understand how other people spend like all of their days, man. We just don't know. Like me, literally, guys, I'm 55 years old, and there's only a handful of times where I've walked into a space and been like the only person of color, of white color in that space. You know what I mean? I am so used to just being completely harmonious and surrounded by my people everywhere. And there's like a safety and a comfort and a security, a sense of security, that a sense of power that I carry that a lot of people don't have that. They literally go out and they're the only of their kind in every space they go into. And like, man, we got to understand what that fucking feels like and afford them some space to like, to get to know what that feels like. And the minute when we get uncomfortable to be like, wow, this is what they always feel like, right? When I go into a space, a black space, and I feel uncomfortable, it's not because black people aren't treating me right or they're not being receptive. It's me literally understanding, wow, this is how they feel all the time, man. You know what I mean? And like, we really gotta fucking, we really gotta sort of like tune into that. I think it's part of the process. But anyway, it's time for edit mode, guys. I gotta get to work. I'm gonna get some music playing. All right, we're gonna fucking. Oh shit, this was the song that was on in the beginning. Let's go, baby.
This is it, I'm tired of explaining. It's too late because everyone is waiting. That's great, so why are you complaining? You're on blue. If I'm unsure, will anybody notice? It's my fault because I love you on purpose. I'm insecure or just a little nervous. You're on blue. Who knows you're on blue?
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Dude, thank you to everybody who donated, all the new members tonight. I appreciate you guys. Fucking love you. And I will see you guys tomorrow. All right? Fucking A, baby. We're just getting started. Let's fucking go.
You found out that nobody is perfect, and you doubt that anything is worth it. Look around, the world is a circus. You're on blue. So provoking, I forgot to mention. Are you joking? I need some attention. And nothing's working, so change your direction. You're on blue. Who knows you're on blue? When every bruise looks good on you. Tell me who knows you're on blue. When every bruise looks good on you. Why won't you hold my hand? Are you gonna deny this? Do the best you can. I haven't got a plan, but I'm gonna survive this. That's just who I am. When you're on blue, you keep everything inside of you. You try to play it cool. Sometimes you gotta break the rules. I don't know why you are confused. All you need is a little bit of attitude. Yeah. This is it. I'm tired of explaining. It's too late because everyone is waiting. That's great. So why are you complaining? You're on blue. If I'm unsure, will anybody notice? It's my fault because I love you on purpose. I'm insecure or just a little nervous. You're on blue. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Hey, hey. Starting to enjoy the view. I'm all about the altitude. Who knows you're on blue? When every bruise looks good on you. Tell me who knows you're on blue? When every bruise looks good on you. Red, red, who's your lover now? Red, red, who's it all about? Psychosis friend, down and begin again. His eyes are broken in, and I don't feel the same. Red, who's your lover now? Red, red, who's it all about? Me, I grew. Think you threw your pains away.